via email by the end of the week. Those of you who requested for certificates and you've paid, we are going to send them to you via email. We are recording this. As you can see, I have just started recording, so please give me permission to record. And when we are done, we will send the replay to those who registered. Or it's possible we may actually keep it somewhere that will be public. We are yet to make that decision, but we'll definitely share with all of you the replay. So I'm going to pray to open or to start, and then when I'm done, I'm going to read the first 5 speakers' profile. So this is how it's going to go. Each speaker has her own allotted time, and as soon as it's their time, they will speak. So I'll introduce them in batches, and every batch I introduce, they will get to speak. Is that okay? Let me see in the comments. Is that okay? Is that okay? Is that okay? Please, we'll have Q&A at the end. So after each speaker speaks, they won't answer any questions. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments. And also, may I ask that please mute yourselves as you enter. For those who are now entering, I'm muting all, but once you enter fresh, you will be, your audio will be up anyway. Okay, so shall we have a word of prayer? Thank you, our Father in heaven, for such a beautiful day. Thank you for beautiful Ghana and for all these other places that these women are, Netherlands, UK, US. Thank you that it's beautiful wherever they are and all is well. Thank you that we are going to have an amazing time today having these discussions with these fabulous women. Thank you for giving us a special day as women called International Women's Day. Thank you that we get to talk about ourselves and, issues that are important to us as women. We know that God, anyone watching today, either they are watching this live or they're going to be watching the replay, whatever blessing is in this for them, they will receive it. We know that your presence is going to be amazing. In your name, Jesus, I pray with thanksgiving. Amen. Ladies, did you love my prayer?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
It was fantastic.
Thank you. Right. So just for the sake of those who are now joining, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Amma Duncan. I am a corporate trainer, business coach, and founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. And I'm the convener of this conference, the Fabulous Woman Speaks Conference, which is a conference where we get to sit at the feet of different women and listen to their stories and take advice from them so that we ourselves can be blessed in what we are doing and we can impact people as we are supposed to. So we are going to start, I'm going to read the bios of the first 5 speakers, and then as soon as I'm done, they will just dig in. It's going to be speed speaking. So our first speaker is Anika Insia-Apol. Anika is wife to an amazing husband and an incredible human being, mother to 2 extraordinary children. She schooled at Akosombo International School, Osei Chirechue Secondary School, had her first degree and MBA at KNUST. She worked at Guinness Ghana Brewery Limited as legal assistant and at Unilever as employer brand specialist. She's currently the business and brand development for OK, that is Ochiame Kwame. An author, OK brand book product manager and marketing line lead at Santis Hair for Kids, brand advisor for Santis Hair Adults and Mef's Cuisine, that they make the best shitta and jollof in the world. Anika is a wellness, fitness, and nutrition advisor. Thank you, Anika. So she'll be coming shortly, but I'm going to introduce the next speaker after Anika is Shobita Soor. I hope I got the last name mentioned well. So Shobita is CEO of Legendary Foods, a food technology company in Ghana, pioneering insect protein for West and Central Africa. It's a social enterprise currently based in Kumasi. Go Kumasi. Legendary Foods advances the technology to farm and process palm weevil larvae. Sorry. Oh my God, the things they do. You know, akokun, those of you in Ghana, you know, akokun, those, the insects that we take for granted, well, they are very nutritious actually. So we should pay attention to what Shobita is coming to do, really. Okay, so she's also a Forbes 30 under 30 honoree in the social enterprise category. Shobita was part of a winning team of the 1mm USD Holt Prize in 2013 and was and has been named a top impact maker by McGill University. She has been a speaker at conferences such as TEDMed and featured in several academic and media publications. Shobita holds a BSc Psychology, VCL, LLB, and MBA from McGill University. Okay, thank you, Shobita. And then we have Dr. Nkechi Dike. She is an emergency physician and lecturer at the School of Medical Sciences, University of Cape Coast. She is a certified project manager, a business consultant, and a knowledge broker. She's the CEO of RevCall Limited, a resource management and training organization, and team lead of its subsidiary, MedEd Consult. She's a success coach and passionate about career and personal excellence. She facilitates organizational and team training workshops and convenes the idea incubation seminars. Nkechi is an avid reader. Oh my God, she's read every book on earth and is a public speaker. She's with Toastmasters. She loves globe-trotting, volunteering, artistic storytelling, and Christian fiction novels. She loves God and people. And then our fourth speaker is Dr. Blanca Belak. Blanca is, she designs and implements individual and group interventions on leadership development, conflict resolution, capacity and organizational development. She specializes in neuroscience-based approaches that facilitate personal transformations. Blanca trained in Europe and in North America with leading experts on adult development, neuro leadership, and leadership embodiment. She's a certified debriefer of the Lexical Decision-Making Assessment and the Leadership Circle. Okay, she also founded Leadership Associates, a boutique leadership consultancy that provides services to the leading international security agencies such as NATO and OSCE, to the UN and to the private sector. And I've had the privilege of working with Blanca in Ghana at the KIPTC. And then our final speaker for this section is Pastor Annette Day. She's a speaker, life and holistic wellness coach with emphasis on growth mindset. Annette has a reputation for empowering women to live a life of impact, influence, and fulfillment. Annette is also the founder and the leading lady of Beauties of Eden, a ministry that, where was I? I know it's something about empowering, a ministry that empowers women to be bold, confident, and become ambitious helpers in building a greater tomorrow. So ladies, let's give it up wherever you are for our first speaker, Anika. Please go ahead.
Hi, Amma. Hello,
Hi.
everyone. Good morning.
Can we see you?
Hello.
I've been trying to get my video on, but it's not coming on.
It's fine. Just go on ahead.
So sorry, but good morning again.
Good morning.
And I am super excited to be here to discuss or to share my thoughts on branding yourself as a woman leader. Whenever I have to discuss this topic, I tell everyone that I am not a feminist. That is to say that I do not advocate for equal rights of sexes because we are not the same. However, I advocate for equitable rights, that is deserving rights. Whatever the woman deserves, they must get it, and whatever the man deserves, they must get it. As such, whenever I discuss branding for women, I use this example before I go straight into the branding. The example of water and steel. Now, for those of us who don't use rice cooker to cook, and we also don't use non-stick cookers, but we use our regular African pots or the pots that were there before non-stick came. When you cook rice, you realize that after taking the soft part out that you have to eat, there's this part that is called the kanzo. I don't know how you call it in your culture, but the rice under in Ghana, as we say it, that is left. There are two ways to take this out. There's the way of using the steel, the spoon, to take it out hard in a very rigorous manner. And then there's the other way of using water to wait for it to settle. And then when you decide to bring it out, it's very easy to take it out. Now, I always describe women as water in this case. If you are a woman and you are water, that is to say that you take your time to analyze the situation, you wait for the solution to come, you plan ahead, then you see that when it is time to solve the problem, it is as easy as removing kanzo with water. So as a woman, please be water. Now, delving straight into what branding is, most of us know what branding is. It is a name, a term, a design, sign, symbol, logo that identifies or differentiates one person or a product from the other. Now, with this definition, we know clearly that branding is simply broken down into two: differentiation and then identification. To do these, there are 5 elements that usually help us to achieve this. Now, what are these 5 elements? If you have a pen and paper, kindly write them down. We will explain in a bit. Now, there's your brand story, there's your brand image, there's your brand associations, there's your brand relevance, then your brand positioning, and then your brand equity. Now, who is a woman leader who will use these things? When I describe a woman, I like to describe a woman as a female adult who has intuition, who is caring, who is loving, who is motherly. That is who a woman is in my definition. Now, who is a leader? A leader is a person who is selfless enough to take the interest of the group and help each member achieve their goals. When you put a woman and a leader together and you get a woman leader, this combination of someone who is intuitive and kind and someone who is also selfless enough to help each member of the group achieve their goal is explosive. So if you are a woman leader and you are using these 5 elements of branding that I have mentioned, which is, to reiterate, brand story, brand image, brand associations, brand relevance, brand positioning, and brand equity, you see that you excel to higher levels because you have a lot of qualities that are otherwise not present for the other sex unless they learn it. But that quality comes to you naturally. So in a sense, when we discuss branding, these are the things that we are going to look at. In a sense of the word, everybody is a brand. So when you get up and you are going to school, your family will say that in this family, this is who we are. We don't do this. We don't do these things. We are not promiscuous. So as you are going, go and behave as such. When you get up and you are moving, who you are is your brand. Now it becomes necessary to highlight what this brand is to make the most of it or to achieve woman leadership. A wise person said, your brand is the honest things that people say about you when you leave the room. So example, she's kind, she's amazing, she's hardworking, she's intuitive, she's excellent, she's a high performer. That is your brand. So in the final analysis of brand building, it is not what you say or do. It is who you truly are that you have presented to the people that makes you your brand. So first of all, how do we ensure that we use these elements to identify and differentiate to affect what is said in the room about us? First, the brand story. And I'm going to use a brief example. Many people wonder why the Kardashians are very successful. They are very successful because they are master storytellers. They keep you along, they string you along with their stories. Because of that, even if you do not appreciate what they are doing, you know their story. Now, there's a person in Ghana that I also appreciate so much. That is Delay. She has an amazing brand story. Now, because she has been able to tell it so well, whether by saying it herself or people saying it for her, she has been able to remain #1 in her industry for quite a long time. Now, there's also Michelle Obama. She's a great example for a lot of women. When people go into her story, and recently she has made a conscious effort to tell her story using a documentary and a book on her life to tell that story. When you go into it, you realize that you love Michelle, the person, some more. So brand story is very, very important for any woman leader. Tell your story in any way you can. It doesn't have to be on a big stage, but whoever it is in your environment, the people you meet daily, your interactions, tell your story. The second one is your brand image. Now, we live in an image-focused world, especially because of social media. So what you must do is that you must curate your image. As a woman leader in your office, how do you behave? Do you let men touch you inappropriately? Do you dress inappropriately? Do you wear beach wear to the office instead of the beach? How do you dress? It is important to dress to suit your environment. That is not to say that you must always wear a suit or you must always dress down. Gauge the environment, use your intuition as a woman and dress appropriately. Your surroundings tell a lot about you. If you have family, that is children, husband, how do they look like? How have you been able to manage your home? That tells a lot about you as a woman leader. Now, there's a scripture that I love very much that says that what defiles a man is not what goes into the man, but what comes out. So your speech, how you speak, is very, very important to who you are as a woman leader in building that brand as a woman leader. When you open your mouth, what does it say about you? It is very, very important. Now, also, are you wholesome? Do you play in a way? Do you say vile words? Do you say bad words with men that you are trying to differentiate yourself from? So that after saying all those things and playing with them and letting them touch you inappropriately, now you expect them to come to you and accord you the respect you think you deserve. It is very important to curate your image to suit you, who you are. Now, because we have a short time, we cannot delve into all these in very, very lengthy detail. So I'll go on to the next that says brand associations. What are your brand associations? What do you associate with? Who do you associate with? When and how do you associate with these things? Are you a high performer? Do you associate with high performers? Is your productivity very high? If you are on Slay Queen, if you are in social media, are you a Slay Queen or are you a boss chick? What do you tweet? What do you write? When you make a post, are you instigatory? Are you insulting? Who are you? Because now, whether we like it or not, it has become part of what people look out for before they even hire you at a workplace or give you business. So who are you? Do you look down on people on the social strata because you are a leader? Or do you only warm up to high people on the social ladder? It is very, very important. Now, one thing that someone said was that whenever I want to associate with any person, I look at how they treat the people under them, like the taxi drivers, the kayayes, to see whether they are truly treating me the way they are because of what I can give them, or because that is who they truly are. So it is very important to associate yourself with the right kind of things so that when you are not in the room, what they say about you will be the brand that you want to build. Then we come to brand positioning. As a woman leader, you want to be premium preferred. We are here discussing a woman leader because of so many things that come against us. Social, historic, women are not naturally given the position of women leaders. I'm not sure that men have gathered somewhere to say that, let's discuss men leadership. No, it is a natural phenomenon. So we are gathered here because it is important as a woman to build your brand to be premium and preferred. If a company is coming to poach someone that has your qualification, will they pick you because you deserve it? That is what I call deserving. So whenever you are building your brand, you must build it in such a way that you are positioned in the mind of your customers to be the first one to be picked. Now, you will be picked based on these things: your ingenuity, your creativity, your professionalism. And for key positioning for a human brand is your values. What are your values? These values, as I said earlier, must be communicated in your brand story so that it is evident, and your actions, it is evident to your customers on what exactly you want to do.
Okay. Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here and to be able to share my experiences with you. So the topic that I was given was around finding balance as a CEO. And what I would say is, I would like to talk about a couple of things. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is actually embracing our femininity. One of my favorite quotes and one of the most powerful things that I think has impacted my life is that women are not little men. And very much in relation to what the speaker before said, you know, we cannot think of ourselves as equal to men. And once I was able to embrace my femininity and my cyclical nature as a woman, which I will get into, things became much easier for me as a leader. So often one thing that is interesting is people think of the woman and the feminine as the moon, and think of the male as the sun. And why is this? Well, because women have are cyclical and have a monthly cycle, whereas men have sort of a daily cycle. And this can actually be really helpful to think about. So one of the things that is super helpful to me is to think about how we can use our cycle to actually show up as better leaders. So in the first 2 weeks of our cycle, we actually have much more creativity in our brain. So our brain changes a lot as our cycle throughout the 4 weeks of our cycle, throughout the 4 weeks of the month. And at the beginning of our cycle, our brains are really powered well for creativity. And so when we're thinking about solving tough challenges at work, that can actually really help, is tackling those in the beginning. The third week of the cycle, our verbal skills are actually really enhanced. And so if you're thinking about asking for a raise from your boss or making a really important presentation, doing it in that third week of your cycle can really be helpful. And then also giving ourselves permission to rest. There are a lot of hormonal fluctuations in our body, and when we give ourselves permission to rest, we especially when we're tired and we embrace that cyclicality, we are able to show up in such a more powerful way. And I would say that for me, balance as a CEO is also about intentionality. And it's also about feeling like, oh. Okay, so it's also about feeling, it's all, to me, balance as a CEO is also about being intentional. So for me, if I think of two different scenarios, one where I'm trying to tackle a major project at work, go on a family trip, try to change my diet and my exercise regime, and I'm trying to do all of those things at the same time to live a balanced life, it doesn't work out for me. But when I say, okay, right now in this season of life, I'm going to embrace working on my top two priorities. And then once I've built sufficient momentum, then I'm going to tackle another two. So maybe right now I'm really focused on work and diet. And then once I've built sufficient momentum, routines, learnings, then I move on to, okay, now let me tackle exercise and family and building better relationships. And that is such a more empowering feeling for me, rather than trying to do everything at once. Instead, being intentional about what my priorities are and telling myself, I'm not going to have perfect balance all of the time, but I'm going to be intentional about my priorities to achieve balance now, rather than being a passive person and having all of these things come to me. So the last thing I would just like to say is that the other thing that really helps me with balance is not being as outcome focused, but rather being process focused. So for example, one of the things we're trying to do at work is increase our sales. And so instead of just being focused on the numbers, we need to get there, we need to see this level of growth, rather focusing on how can I fall in love with the process of building my team, of building our sales pitch, of trying different marketing things out, and taking an approach where I am evaluating how much joy, how much progress is being created in the process, in my team, in the people, rather than just being fixated on the outcome. So falling in love with the process of building has also really helped me to find balance in my life. Thank you so much. And I'm happy to connect with all of you. So I'll put my details in the chat. And I hope this was helpful to you.
All right. Thank you so much, Shabita. And hello, ladies. It's so wonderful to have you all here. And I want to celebrate all your journeys, every story, every woman here, and every man who supports women and is right here. We love you. And thank you for being here. In the time that I'm given, I will be talking about developing as a value-adding leader, developing yourself or being a value-adding leader. So before I start anything, I like illustrations. Do you have like a fragrance, something, like you're known by a fragrance, or you're known by when you walk into a room and people know you by that fragrance, and whether or not I'm looking up, I know it's you in the room. Or when you leave a room, as someone ever said, oh, I just smelled your fragrance, where you leave that lingering thoughts in your mind. For me, that's how I see value addition. It's the imprint, is indelible thoughts of you when you've left. I like what Anika said earlier, where she was talking about the fact that, what people say about you, your brand, and that's part of what your value also. So your value is part of what you leave behind in the room. Now, so 2 years ago, I came back from a brief study leave from the United States, and I had a department in my university was going to shut down because they were, reevaluating. Now, I had just seen it done somewhere else, so I thought, hey, I could give an advice to this person. It wasn't my department. I had no thoughts of going there. I picked up the phone, called the head of department and say, let's see what we can do. I wanted to add value to that department, regardless of whether I had anything to gain. That's how a adding person thinks. You're unselfish. And to cut the long story short, February 28th, 2020, we met in a room for the first time, had the first medical education symposium organized in Ghana, where all medical schools are under one roof. Two things happened at that meeting. We helped showcase the department and turn things around. Instead of shutting down, it became the spotlight. Number two was that we were discussing and advocating a new direction of medical education. Unbeknownst to us, 3 weeks later, COVID would hit, and what we thought was the future suddenly came 3 weeks earlier. And now that is value addition, and you can imagine what that meant me and my colleague Kusi. I like to say that we became hot cakes, just kidding. But that's exactly what value addition does. At the time I was doing that, I had no intention of being anything. I just wanted to see that value was added to that department and not shut down. Now that is going to be the department that I might be heading in the next few months. Now, I say all of that not to celebrate that, but I wanted to say value addition. So being a value adding person or leader, it first starts with you being a value adding person, because the person makes the leader. So sometimes you would tell yourself, I'm not a leader, I'm just a woman, I'm at the bottom rung of my company. But what we're really saying is that a value adding leader is first a value adding person, because the person makes the leader. And what that means for me is like, it didn't start just when I thought that department was going to collapse. It started as a person. 18 years, out of 18 years, I decided to read a book a month. It became a book a day. It became a book a week. And see, because first you add to yourself and you give what you have to other people, and then that you project that. Now, what does it mean to be a value adding person or a value adding leader? What it means is that when, just like I said about the fragrance, what do you do? What do people say? What indelible marks? When you work in a team, is a team better because of you? Are people better because of you, because you left there? Is a place different and better because you walked that road? And do you go beyond what your pay grade is and say, hey, I find a leakage here, let me block that. Now, so just to, because of our time and because some of these things will go into them in the workshop, Amma is going to probably talk about some workshop much later, and then we'll go into them. I want to throw my net a bit wide and just say that for regardless of what your spectrum is in that, in this being a value adding person or a value adding woman, I'm going to take you as a value adding person, as a value adding employee, and as a value adding leader. So I'm going to give three illustrations and just these three categories, and I'm going to help you really just have reflective thoughts of what we're talking about. As a value adding person, I want you to ask yourself, what are three values that I want to develop in myself today, or I can develop in myself today, or something that I already have that I can better, that people can say, that when I leave the room, that's what lingers in their mind. Three things. For me, it's 5 things. For you, if you know me, I want to beam a light in darkness. I want to share a load in weariness. I want to give hope in despair. I want to leave a legacy of love, and I want to give wings to people's dreams. If at the end of my day, I walk through your life and I haven't done any of these 5 things, I haven't added value as a person. So beam a light in darkness, share load in weariness, give hope in despair, leave a legacy of love, and give wings to people's dreams. What are yours today? Now, as a value-added employee, I'm going to ask you, is your company, have they gained any money because you're there? Have they made profits because you're there? Have they retained any more clientele base because of you, particularly because of you, not as a team? Number 3, I want to ask you if, how much have you, as the brand of the company improved because of you? How much brand share is there share now because of you? Or, what's the clientele base? Is anything enhanced, money saved? Maybe you found a process and you feel like I can better that process to save money. I'm asking you those questions. And whatever your spectrum is in business, in leadership, as a family, as a mom, ask yourself those questions. What am I doing different? That's for a value adding employee. Now, as a value adding leader, I would say, remember that I said the person makes the leader. So I want you as a leader, if you're already currently a leader, a CEO, a ministry person, a mother, I want you to model that value addition to the people that you serve. Model value addition. And because you have it, you can recognize it in other people. So recognize and celebrate other people who are value adding. 3, create a culture of value addition in your system and reward it, because sometimes people are there, you can pick them and mentor them, but also reward those who are adding value. And I'm asking the leader on the final note right now, who have you been overlooking? Who has been adding value in your team as a leader that you're going to pick up from today? Or what are you going to model differently as a leader? Thank you very much. I want you to think about it again. Am I a value adding person? Am I a value adding employee? Am I a value adding leader? and leave that fragrance again because you walked in that place. Thank you very much.
Hello. So this is now from Blanca. I hope you can hear me. And thank you, Nkechi. Thank you for being so well on time. And I would like to talk to you today about just a few very foundational practices and maybe tips and tricks for your personal leadership. So perhaps the most important piece of tips and tricks is to remember that everything starts from within. The way how we think, the way how we are approaching the world, life, people, that is what will really give us the taste of how others see us, how we feel. And there are many mistakes that we tend to do unless we choose not to. And what had been one of the key practice that I had to learn, and I believe many others, is that I need to manage my energy. If I want to be the master of my life, I need to know how I am doing with my energy. And what does this mean? That means that I need to sleep properly, eat properly, exercise. But perhaps really the most important was to learn to let go, to forgive. To forgive even when there is nobody who wants to talk to me, who wants to say, I am sorry, even though I might be hurt. Because forgiving is not something that you need anybody else for. Forgiving is a unilateral act. You do it yourself and you have the power to let go. And when I learned this, I really recovered so much energy back to me because my old hurts were no longer burdening me. I could let go. So this would be my first practice and tip for you. Let go. This is very healing. The other one I would like to leave today with you is about how we can feel and how we may wish to approach some situations that are difficult. And as women, there are, I believe, many situations for us that are more difficult than for many other, like men. And also, every of us, we have our personal difficulties, places we don't feel so comfortable with. And so these days, when I know that I am about to go for a difficult conversation or into a situation that I do not feel 100% happy about, and so I am imagining that I have in front of me that I'm actually like a cherry sitting on a piece of cake. And I'll now show you, which piece of cake I mean. Do you see this? I mean this shape. So this shape, it has a sharp end to front, and this is protecting me. And it has the very wide end behind me. And in the wide end, there are all my people standing. Everybody who likes me, who loves me, who believes in me, my family, my friends, my partner, everybody who is there and who wants to give me good energy and who had been giving me good energy throughout my life so far. They are also my ancestors. I'm the continuation of them, and they are with me and they are wishing me all the best. And to front, I have this sharp end, and this is just protecting me. It doesn't mean that I want to hurt anybody, but I want to know that I have the support of everybody and that I can stand in my power. And what I also do when I am heading into, let's say, challenging situations, I use a particular way of holding my hands. Now, I put my hands together like now, like I'm showing you. So my fingertips are connected, yeah? And there is space in between. And I know this is a practice from India that this helps to connect the two halves of my brain so that I can think more clearly. So I hold this and then I put this usually at the level of my belly button, and then I stand there. I stand in my power. This is my piece of cake with my elbows that are then spread a bit. I am holding the space. And this is how I enter into situations which I know could be potentially challenging. And in general, what for me was a big revelation when I started working in the field of leadership and with women was to feel and to embrace the linkages between our body and how we feel and our feelings. And this is the last piece I would like to leave with you. It's not only about how we think, it's not only about what is in our head. What we are, who we are, how we are showing, projecting our leadership, this is part of our body embodiment. We need to be there with all of our being, not only with our brain. So it is not enough to think something or to know it in your head, but you really need to train your body to feel the energy and to be there. And once we start doing this, the world's open and there are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful blessings coming. Thank you very much. And I would now like to give the floor to Annette, I believe. Thank you.
Thank you, Blanca, for giving me the floor. She's a student, she's a banker, she's a farmer, she's a CEO, she's a doctor, she's a market seller, she's a wife, she's a nurse, she's a driver, she's a nanny, she's a lawyer, she's a corporate trainer, she's a coach, she's a driver. How can she balance all these roles and still wear her crown? This explains the 21st century leader, woman leader. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Annette Day, and happy International Women's Day to everyone. Thank you for all the speakers that have gone before me and to all the participants that are here, whether you're afternoon, depending on where you are, morning, or the evening. The words that I just used, picture perfect for a profile of the 21st century woman. This woman is expected to balance all these roles and yet wear her makeup to be on point, eyelashes not peeling off, lipstick matching, earrings, if you're like Amma, dazzling. But that explains, all these things explain to you and I. But how do we maintain this look? How do we maintain this agility? How do we maintain this posture when we walk in a room? And the key word that I find is balance. Now, balance, based on the dictionary definition, Oxford Dictionary definition, is an even distribution of weight, enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. Example, she lost her balance before falling. When I think of balance leadership, and that's the topic that I want to project here today, balance leadership, words are important. The brain doesn't think in alphabets. The brain thinks in pictures. And so leadership is anyone that influences their sphere or their environment. When I think of balance based on an even distribution, I envision or picture a scale, and not the scale like we're used to now, that digital scale that you stand on and it shows. I'm looking at that old school scale where there is a unit here and a unit there, and you place elements in, and if the element is too heavy, it tilts it down. And if the element is light, it props it up. But in order to have that stability, there has to be an equal amount of elements on either end of the scale. And that is what balanced leadership for a woman is, that you are able to put the elements that is unique to you. So 3 key traits that I want us to take out of this conversation today to be balanced leaders, balanced women leaders, is 3 things. Number one, you know your identity, because each and every one of us is made with different things and our sphere of influence is different. So I have to know who I am, what I am made of. Number one, so identity, and identity speaks of uniqueness. I am a firm believer that every single one of us is different, and so we cannot measure our leadership skills based on looking at another woman, because their fingerprint is different, their assignment is different, their purpose is different. But when it comes to women looking at leadership, we want to be like the next Michelle Obama, but we are not called to be Michelle Obama. It's important to learn some of the traits and the characteristics and apply it to your own uniqueness. That's identity. The second thing, which some of the speakers before me, I believe Shobitha said it and Annika mentioned, is values. I need to know, what are my values? What are some of the things that is important to me? Is time important to me? Is the way my appearance is important to me? Is the way I carry myself out is important to me? So one is my identity, who I am, that I'm unique and I'm called to unique assignments. Two, values. The third thing is priorities. What are my priorities in this season of my life? In order for me to be balanced, I not only need to know my identity, not only my values, but my priorities as well. Life happens in seasons, and every season requires us to understand so that we put priorities. So I started off listing that every one of us in this room can connect to being a student, a banker, a farmer, a CEO, a doctor, a nanny. It doesn't matter. We all represent that. But in this season, if I pick three of these things, I'm a nanny, I'm a mother, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, I need to look to, in order to be balanced as a leader, I need to look at all these areas and prioritize based on the season that I'm in. And then we go on to, well, you just explained these three things, but how do I learn and how do I apply them? After you've listed who you are, after I sat and listed, because I came to this understanding when people started asking, how do you balance all these things? Number one, I know who I am, but I need to, as a mother, as a wife, as a pastor, as a nurse, I need to be educated in all these areas. So key point to being a balanced leader is to be educated, number one. Number two is to understand partnership, that we cannot do all this alone. We need to partner with other people. You need to partner and understand the other person that is in your sphere of influence. How are they adding to my life? And what are the values that they are bringing to me? And in conclusion, I say this: a balanced woman doesn't just build a name for herself. She builds relationships and people. She built her house. She built her assistants. She built her family, she built her neighborhood, she built her community, she built her country, and she built and impact her globe. Thank you so much for giving me your time, and enjoy the rest of your day. God bless. Amma, you're muted.
Oh, sorry, I'm muted. So yeah, the ladies have been fabulous. Thank you so much. Ladies, what do you think of our first 5 speakers? They've been amazing. I'm just getting goosebumps upon goosebumps. I mean, Annie, thank you so much. Annie wanted to come live, and Ochiame Kwame had planned to just come and wave at us, but the video wasn't showing. But I learned from Annie so many things. I took notes. And so Annie mentioned that, hey, you're a brand already. Whether you think you are or not is not the question. So just be intentional about it. And I love that Shobita just talked about intentionality. It is so important for us. Nkechi, I mean, her presentation, like all the others, were so deep. She talked about the person making the leader. You know how we blame our leaders, oh, they are corrupt and all. Well, it's us, actually. The person makes the leader. Blanca, thank you so much. Blanca also talked about forgiveness. And yes, it hurts when somebody, hurts you. You really want them to, say sorry, but they are not even available to say sorry to you. well, forgive them anyway because it does you good. And then Annette mentioned 3 key things: knowing your identity, knowing your values, knowing your priorities. I see that a few of you have raised your hands. Please put your your questions in the chat. When we are done, after all the speakers have spoken, we will bring them back, as many of them as are available, to answer your questions, okay, in the last 30 minutes. Thank you so much. The first speakers have been on time. We are really grateful. So I'm going to introduce the next 6 speakers. Then when they are done, when I finish speaking, they will come. And so if you are now joining, my name is Amma Duncan, is the bald-headed girl talking. Do you see me? Do you see me? Yes, and I am founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. It's my pleasure to have you all here today. So I'm going to read the next 6 profiles. We have Abigail Bafo Ewa. If you hear laughter in the background, it's my kids. I've spoken to them, but still, let's just allow them. Okay, so Abigail Bafo Ewa is the CEO of Abby's One Makeup Limited. She specializes in makeup artistry and education and has worked with renowned personalities in Ghana and beyond. She loves art, very dedicated, and her goal is to empower women through beauty and makeup. She had her education at University of Ghana, the only university in Ghana. Is anyone coming to beat me? She did political science and sociology. Abigail is also currently the Human Resources Officer and Consultant at the Business Resource Center of Obuasi. She's married and is an amazing mother of 2. She is amazing. You should follow her on Instagram and see how she brings her kids along. Frimpoma Intifero Aga, she is a Christian and a family woman. She is also the proprietor of Links and Loops, a fashion jewelry brand in Ghana. She's the CEO of Lodestar Services, your professional finder. Remember Olivia Pope in the thing? Olivia Pope was, I forgot the name, but you know, that is Frimpoma for you. She does it for high level people, just like Olivia Pope. She had her MBA in leadership and sustainability. She's had over 15 years in the corporate world in banking, and her work has gained her hands-on experience in very demanding setups. She likes to do well and to see others around her also do well. This is what drives her in every task that she undertakes, and it is her goal to touch at least one life every day, just one life every day. Leveraging on her strengths, she aims to add value to any person on business she works with, just as many people have and continue to add value to her. Oh, please, wherever you are, say, oh. Francisca Boateng is, she's worked as a nurse's assistant, cleaner, customer service representative, security guard, loan officer, and accountant. She co-founded 2 very functional nonprofits and currently runs an international IT firm. She is also a wife of 22 years, mother of 4. Each morning she has to go to the one who created her and has a purpose for her life to find out how this purpose can be fulfilled in all the roles she performs. Her goal is to do his will and live each day in her Jeremiah 29:11 plan. Who knows Jeremiah 29:11? This is a quiz. Put the answer in there. Chloe, I won't try to mention your last name. Okay, no, let me try it. Baumgartner. Yeah, I got it. Chloe runs an agency for innovation and entrepreneurship in Vienna, Austria. She's a passionate community builder for impactful women worldwide and a serial social entrepreneur. In recent years, she has specialized in the field of crowdfunding. She coached over 400 project starters and developed the accelerator program, Crowdfunders Hub, on this topic. She also teaches at various universities in Austria. By the way, speakers, please put your links in the comments, you know, Instagram, Facebook, whichever link that you want people to follow you on. Okay, Emefa Gaje. Emefa is a visionary leader and executive life coach who cultivates and empowers leaders to thrive in both family and professional spaces. She specializes in helping compassionate leaders and single parents who are multipliers through her coaching, speaking, and retreats to create sustainable, holistic success. She is also the founding director of Single Parent Support Network, a nonprofit support network dedicated to holistically serve single parents who are multipliers. She's a trailblazing cycle breaker. Let me take that again. She is a she is a trailblazing cycle breaker who is effecting change by disrupting toxic societal narratives and influencing mindsets to see differently on issues surrounding single parents and their families. By the way, I am sure Francisca Taylor is laughing. She's on the floor rolling by now. MFA Gadget believes that women, when a compassionate leader is intentional, deliberate, and strategic about doing the inner work necessary to evolve into their higher self at each stage of their life, it becomes possible for them to create a holistically successful life and leave a wholesome legacy. Final speaker for this next round, we have Sika Chum. 3 words that best describe Sika are passionate, solutions-focused, and results-oriented. Sika Chum is founder and CEO of Self-Search Ghana, a human development solutions company. She's a transformational leadership coach and a corporate trainer with a combination of over 28 years professional experience. I wasn't even born when she started. As a coach, she's skilled at working with high growth potential leaders, especially women, and helping them to discover their innate potential, break away from their self-sabotaging beliefs, and acquiring the tools to rise to success, impact, and fulfillment. Sika is the organizational coach for MTN Women in Technology and Absa Bank Women in Leadership. She offers the manager as a coach training for the Chartered Institute of Bankers. She is a certified international and systems development specialist with the University of Cleveland, and also a certified human resource management practitioner with the American Certification Institute. And she's also a John Maxwell team member, a highly skilled Ken Blanca trainer, and a consultant for TDI Global Incorporated. So ladies, shall we have our next round of speakers to the floor? Abigail.
Hello, good morning, everyone, and good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm excited today to be here and honored to be speaking to you all fabulous people. I'm so glad. Okay, today I'm going straight to the point. I'm sharing with you some quickie makeup tips for the Be Fabulous Woman, right? You know, according to a research in 2011 by the Harvard Medical School, people actually assess your competence and your trustworthiness based on solely your appearance within a quarter of a second, just based on your appearance. So your grooming, your hygiene, your appearance, your physical outlook, it's one very important aspect for a woman leader or a woman who aspires to be a leader. And more often than not, we find ourselves busy and we try to balance all these things, our outlook, our appearance, our makeup, and all that. And I think Pastor Anna even talked about balance. So you have to know how to balance all these things. Anika also talked about your brand, how you look, how you appear, how people see you. It's also very important. And I think Nkechi also talked about what you leave, the fragrance you leave, how people think about you. What thoughts do you leave in people's mind when you leave the room or when you enter when you enter into a room? Your appearance speaks a lot. So I would just take a bit of this appearance, that is makeup. I'll talk to you about makeup today. So I'm going to share with you some 5 makeup tips for the busy, fabulous woman, just 5, so that you can always put your best face forward, okay? All right, so let's delve in. 1, no matter how busy you are, your skin prep is very important. That will be the base of your makeup for the day. Yes, that will be your makeup for the day. That will be the base of your makeup. So your skin prep, that's cleansing your face, moisturizing your face, then priming your face, because that will determine how your makeup will look during the day, because probably you have a busy schedule. You only get to apply it once then you don't get to do it anymore. So that's very important. Your skin prepping before your makeup is important. 2 is hiding dark circles. I think most of us battle with dark circles around our eyes, either from tiredness, sometimes it's even hereditary. So with that, the best way to give you the lift and the wide awake look that you want to take out is by using your concealer or your foundation, that's the same shade as the skin, then apply it beneath your eyes. Then you pat it with your finger or with a damp sponge, and that will give you the lift that you need, and it will make you look less tired, because I know we are always busy and we need to be dashing somewhere. So that is one important thing. After that, you really sometimes you don't even need to apply your foundation, then you are good to go. The third thing I want to talk about, is your eyeliner. I think most people struggle with eyeliner, so they omit it at all. But eyeliners are great. It helps define your eyes. It makes you look wide awake. It gives you this classy look. So the tip to applying your eyeliner, which you don't have to struggle anymore, is get your dark pencil or your black pencil and the cotton bud or Q-tip. So you just trace your soft pencil along your lines, your lash lines. Then you use your Q-tip or your cotton bud to just smudge it a bit. And it will give you this nice, sultry, classy look. Then just top it up with your mascara. Then you be like, wow. When everybody sees you, they'll be like, oh, you're looking good. That is it. That's all you did. Then you'll be looking your fabulous leader self, right? All right. The fourth thing is most of us battle with oil seeping through our makeup throughout the day. In some few hours, you have oils all over your face, and that oil tells a lot about you. Sometimes when you enter a room, the person will see, oh, you're too tired, you don't look too concentrated, or you've had a lot to do during the day, or you are stressed. You know, all these things contribute to the oils that come into your face or over your makeup during the day. So the best thing is, before you actually dash into a room, you need to freshen up. So the first thing you do is get a damp tissue, fold it flat, then you press it on the face. Where you find oils around your nose, your forehead, your chin, you just press it on your face, then it will absorb the oil, and the coolness of the water will just cool your face down. And because of the water in the tissue, it will prevent the tissue from picking up your makeup. So your makeup will stay intact, your face is refreshed, you have less shine, then you look very fabulous, and you can dash into any meeting or any dinner, anything you have to do the next time. So you dash into it and you look fabulous. All right, the 5, that is number 5, last but not least, always play up your best features last. Why am I saying that? When you know that your lips are good, when you know that your eyes, like, it's your best feature, you end up spending much time on it, trying to make it look good. So what you do is that you put that aside, then you quickly do all the areas of your face that need to be done within that few minutes. Then you come back to your eyes. That is, well, whether you apply mascara or just one eyeshadow or anything, your eyes will look good. Or when you put on that good lipstick to your lips, knowing that your lips is something that is the best feature. You apply lipstick, lip gloss, then you look your fabulous self. Trust me, your best feature, any little application you apply to it will make you look good. So I would end here. I don't know if my time is up or not. So these are the 5 tips I'm going to share. So we will be more in depth. Do you know that there's some, let me get into this. On the 26th and 27th, there is going to be Women Leaders Workshop, and I'm going to be detailed and practical with it, so that those of us who don't have any idea of what I'm talking about, you can have first-hand lessons from me. Then you can always put your best face forward. And we are not going to talk about just your height, grooming, your appearance. It's a lot. How a woman leader should appear or present herself, which is also your brand. We'll talk about that. So I will end here. Thank you so much. And I'm really, the pleasure is all mine to be here. I'm really honored to be here. So I'll leave here for the next speaker to talk. Happy International Women's Day to all of us, and have a fabulous day. Thank you, Amma.
Oh, wow. Abigail, I totally enjoyed that. I forgot that I was speaking next. I actually wanted to run and go and do the tissue dabbing myself. I didn't know about that one. Thank you, darling. Thank you. Anyway, happy International Women's Day to everybody. Hello, hello, hello. And I'm excited to be part of the Fabulous Woman Network. My name is Frimpoma Intifu Aga, but I like to be simply referred to as Frimpoma. So when you catch up with me anywhere, Frimpoma will do just fine. You know, when Amma asked that we speak about balancing all the hats we wear and our careers and all that, that's when I actually sat down and started recollecting a few things on my personal journey. And I realized that this whole balancing act is not as scary as we make it look. So let me share a few experiences with you, and then we'll take it from there. So I'm going to be speaking with you on how to balance the hat we wear as mothers and career women. And I'm focusing on mothers because all the other speakers are speaking about many other things. So we're focusing on mothers. You know, when I started my career in banking, young woman, it's just me. I get up and I go. I do what I want when I want. Then the babies, fast forward, the baby started coming. So baby number one came, and then thankfully I had my mother to help me. So I reached out for help. Another thing I'd say with that is that we shouldn't assume that they would help. We have to reach out for the help. So I reached out for help. I asked her to help me, and it was good. It was just one child. So we kept going, career was progressing, all the challenges at work. Then baby number two comes. And at that point, my mother has 2 young children to deal with. So we had to find external help. So I looked for house help. I'm sure when I said house help, everybody's antenna is up, but let's keep it down for now. So I looked for house help, and so that was how I reached out for help. And then, she was helping my mother to take care of the kids. Then baby number 3 came. By then, my mother had, of course, gained all the years as old as the first child. So she couldn't help as much as she would have liked. I had to get full-time help. That is when I faced the real challenges of finding house help. They came in all sorts of characters. I mean, things you can't even imagine. And then I was wondering, how or which recruiter would help me find a house help who can do all I need them to do, who can see through these house helps and who they really are. And then I realized that, oh, I know the perfect recruiter, a recruiter who knows everybody by name, including mine. I don't intend to make this a sermon, but I'm referring to God here. So I started to pray about my house help issues, and then we found somebody, and that worked fine. This has been my journey before now, my journey as a corporate woman or as an employee, and this is what worked for me. So somewhere in there, you would find what works for you. Now, let me tell you a little story or give you a scenario. Imagine that you've come from work and then your hands are full with grocery bags, and this is your child running to come and hug you. I see 2 options. Either I'm dropping the grocery bags and hugging this child, or I'm getting help with the grocery bags and then hugging my child. So that is where priority comes in. And Pastor Annette, of course, spoke about prioritizing. So that's the scenario I want to paint. And looking back at the stories I shared from my experiences, I realized that without even being aware, I was balancing the act of motherhood and my career. So that's the point I wanted to make, that it's not as scary as we think it is. It doesn't have to always be on an Excel sheet to work. Somewhere in there, we find the balance. So now that I've given you the scenario of the balancing act, the career bags could be, let's assume it's our career. When we drop it suddenly to hug our child, something in there might break, the bottle of jam or something. But if we ask for help to hold the bags, we can hug our child and manage that as well. So when I was in the corporate sector, I was reaching out for help to manage my children so that I could work on my career. Then I became an employer. I started my own business. The tables turned. At that point, I was looking to prioritize things such that I can spend more time with my kids and seek help for my work. Remember, in the corporate world as an employee, I was seeking for help with my children and focusing on the career, not because I didn't love my children, but I had to do a balancing act. Then fast forward, as an employer, I am seeking help for my work by recruiting people, the relevant people, and spending more time with the children. And that is something that we are all able to do. You probably will be wondering, okay, this prioritizing and seeking help, how do you even do it? What I have done with prioritizing, I learned from a very good friend of mine. Everything in her life is a meeting. So I copied that. So my meeting with donors to look for funding for the NGO I work with is a meeting. My meeting to launch a new brand in my jewelry store, Links and Loops, is a meeting. Being here is a meeting. At the same time, visiting my son at school is also a meeting. And playing with them is a meeting. Going to KFC to get junk food once in a while is a meeting. So since I made everything a meeting, then I can prioritize and say this meeting is more important than the other one. And then I go through. That has worked for me. And I'm hoping that it will work for somebody out there today. In terms of seeking help, the help I've sought is from God. Like I said, I don't want to make this a sermon, but it has worked for me because God knows everybody by name. So when I pray about something, then I try, difficult as it is, just to chill, relax, and trust that He will make a way. How do you know that this help you're looking for, God has sent? You know, God doesn't do anything contrary to Scripture, and anything He does for you is peaceful. So once you have peace around it, and it's not contrary to anything that you know in Scripture, it is definitely God. God will, I mean, the devil doesn't want to give you peace, so he won't bring you peace. So this is how I've been prioritizing and seeking for help. There's not too much time to go into other details, but I hope that this experience that I've shared will help at least one person who's listening to us today. At least one person will be positively impacted by my little experience. That would definitely make my day. So thank you so much for your attention. I've absolutely enjoyed spending this time with you, and enjoy the rest of your day and have a fabulous week ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's a great day to be a woman. And on behalf of the Fabulous Woman Network, I want to wish you a happy International Women's Day. We've come far as women, and I want you to take this opportunity and give yourself a pat at the back. Yes, there's much more work to do, but today I celebrate you, and I hope you take time to celebrate yourself. I celebrate myself too. My name is Francisca Boateng. I'm a mother of 4. My kids' age range between almost 27 to 16, and I've been married for almost 23 years. I live in Virginia, and I'm excited to be talking to you on the topic of how to live a balanced life as a business leader and a mother of adult kids. First, I want to talk about balance. When people hear balance, all of a sudden, I know you have your notebook ready, your pens ready to write how I keep it 50-50. My balance looks different, so much different than your balance. But today I want us to look at balance from a different perspective. Is balance always 50-50? Just look at the world we live in now. Are we really in balance? Are we really in sync? Look at what's going on. The past year, some people even wrote it off. The fact that you are alive and you can hear me today, it's a great testimony. But what we went through, your balance in 2019 shouldn't or must not look like your balance in 2021. Otherwise, you'll be frustrated and you'll go cuckoo. My balance, like I said, looks totally different from your balance. Right now, sometimes it's 80-20, sometimes it's 70-30. What makes you stable? What makes you happy? What keeps you mentally sound? Because as women, sometimes we are comparing ourselves with others. We are looking at what successful women have done, super moms and all that. And we look and we are so frustrated and worried because we think we are out of balance. Woman, I want you to take time to really look at the word balance. 50-50 is not always the goal. Keep it real. Keep it real and simple. Take a break if you need to. Take a break. I'm not admonishing a lazy lifestyle, far from it. But I'm saying keep your mental health in balance. Maybe you might have to take a month off. So what? Keep your balance on point, because if right here is not sound, you cannot be a successful business leader. You cannot lead your kids. You cannot lead your company. You cannot lead the life that God has called you to live. So I want to encourage you today, balance. I don't have any points for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to right now take a pause and take a deep breath and think, what does balance look like for me personally? Is it working 6 hours, taking 2 hours break, going back later when the kids are asleep? Is it working only 2 days, taking 3 days off? Is it making sure that I go to the spa every week so I can be mentally sound? What helps you? What makes you creative? What keeps you normal? What makes you relaxed? Because you can't do much when you are stressed and you are trying to be amongst these people. No, it's not going to help. So right now, I want you to focus on yourself. Check on yourself. What does balance look like for you? Is it 40, 60 today, 60, 40 today, 50, 60? As a mother of adult kids, how do you even show them what balance looks like? After you've raised them, here in the US by 18, they make their own decisions. After you've poured so much into them, how do you balance that and even connect with them? You have to trust what you instilled in them. All those 18 years or 20 years or 21 years that they were under your roof, trust what you instilled in them. Trust the effect you had on them, and trust them to make the right decisions. Trust is a big deal. Trusting that they lived with you, they saw what you do. Our pastor always says, monkey see, monkey do. So it's not about what you preach to them, but your lifestyle. That's why I go back to the word balance, because if you are not mentally sound, if you are not living a balanced life, if you are worried all the time, if you are frustrated all the time, if you are angry all the time, that's what they will take to their adult life. My sister, do your best to balance it. Do your best to check where your heart is daily, to make sure you are stable, to make sure you are breathing normally, to make sure you are not trying to keep up with the Joneses, but you are being real. Be real to yourself. Keep it simple, keep it easy. Don't stress yourself. This is not the year to go back and say number 1, 2, 3, and 2 a.m. you are cleaning because somebody will come to your house. That it's not worth it. Balance, it's all here. Keep it in check. Keep your joy in check. Keep your heart in check. As you live that full life, your kids, no matter where they will go, they will take
Our next speaker, Chloe, is preparing to come now. Sorry, there's a bit of internet challenge. Please let me know in the comments if you can hear or see. Let me know in the comments, can you hear me? I want to know where this is coming from.
A secret, or I can tell you that we are all equal rich. We are all time millionaires. And I calculated yesterday how many seconds we have in 1 year. We all have the equal amount of seconds per year, and it's over 31 million seconds per year. And every day when we stand up, we can restart from fresh and just do the best what we can with our time. So we are basically all time millionaires, right? And I wanted to talk to you about the mindset of a time millionaire. What does a time millionaire do? I think basically she will do less. I mean, we are all talking about saving the resources of our earth. And I think that we should start in our life. We should really all do less and be careful with our own resources and just sit on a bench and enjoy the sun and don't run around and don't take in all the jobs and all the work that is occurring somewhere on the horizon. Just sit on the bench and say, this is my time, and I can decide what I want to do. And basically I do less. I'm a time millionaire, and time millionaires do less, and they have a zero waste lifestyle or a less waste lifestyle, because if everyone starts in her own life doing less and reducing waste, and you know what I mean, then the world will be a better place very soon. But I wanted also to share with you a strategy that I started to apply just recently. It's a list. It's called the might do list. It's not my to-do list, it's my might do list. And in the morning when I get up, I basically grab a blank sheet of paper, and I write down everything that I might do today. And afterwards, there is also a column for the to-do list. And then the next one is the why. The why is very important. Just ask yourself, why do I have to do this? And do I really have to do this? And the fourth, is it row or column? I don't know. The fourth row, let's say, is about delegating and about 50-50. Ask yourself, is there someone else who could maybe do my job, or how can I delegate it? It's not only always you who has to do the job. There are other people around you who can really help you out. And if you want to live a lifestyle of a time millionaire, then you need to ask other people to help you and to take some burden off your shoulder. And the second thing that I wanted to share with you is I recently started to apply a frame set of goal setting. It's called OKR. I write it in the chats because you maybe don't understand my weird accent. It's OKR stands for objectives and key results. It's something that huge corporates apply to reach their bold objectives, like for example Google and Intel and YouTube. You basically set your objective for 12 weeks, and it should be bold, it should give you goosebumps, it should be achievable in 12 weeks. And then you also have your key results, and every key result, 3 to 5 key results, every key result has a number in it and also a result, an outcome, so that you can track it. And what huge corporates apply for themselves or use to really move forward faster and really reach their goals every 12 weeks, you can also apply for yourself. It's called OKR, and I really recommend it. So let's talk about famous, being famous. I said I wanted to become rich and famous. I think for me, famous is when people remember you or people talk about you in a really nice way. And I think the best way to do that is when you have impact on other lives with what you do. So basically, I love to share what I know or what I read about, like maybe like Ama. And at the moment, I'm building a community, a worldwide community of women who hold each other accountable, because only writing down your OKR is not enough. You have to talk about them. You have to tell others about your, as soon as you speak about them, they will get real. Yes, okay. So I'm not sure how much time is left, but it's important to write down your objectives and to tell others and to talk about it, and having an accountability partner or even a team would be really helpful. And imagine a world where every woman will be on the place where she has the most impact and the most power, and where she can really thrive and yeah, even get the money she deserves and everything she deserves, and having a team behind you that pushes you forward and holds you accountable and will support you unconditionally. That's really beautiful, and we all deserve it. Okay, Time Millionaires, the time is up.
2 minutes.
Thanks for having me. And
okay,
next speaker, please.
Hello, it's such a pleasure to be here, and I'm really having fun. I've listened to the incredible women before me, and I've been inspired in many ways. So thank you so much. I'm an executive life coach, speaker, and retreat director, and I'm also the founder of Single Parent Support Network. And I support or help compassionate leaders and single parents who are multipliers, and help them create holistically successful lifestyle. Why do I say that? I believe that success is not complete until it involves every part of your life. In the past, society has seen success as only financial and the outward. And over the years, we've seen the havoc that kind of mindset has caused all of us. You know, in our families, if you can just cast a quick mind around your friends, people who put more premium on external success than holistic success, you see that they wreak a lot of havoc on themselves, on their families, and on the near and dear. You know, so this topic is very, very my heart. And the aspect I want to talk about, as recently I've started talking about loving yourself extravagantly, is rest as strategy. Rest as strategy. That is resting as strategy to success. A couple of years ago, I followed up on a friend on a Sunday with a phone call around 2 p.m. and I could, she didn't pick up the call. Around 8 p.m., she called me very frantic. And she said, oh, she's sorry she's missed my call. I said, oh, it's okay. It's a Sunday. You are resting. I'm not offended. It's okay. And I realized she went on and she couldn't forgive herself. She said, Emefa, I've been sleeping for over 5 hours. How could I have done that? How could I have done that? And to be frank with you, I was so shocked at the reaction. And I tried to calm her down, and she was calling herself irresponsible. She was calling herself lazy. And I couldn't believe it. And I let her, I just said to her, I will call her back. So I started thinking, why would she think like this? You know, she's a very hard-working woman. She's a smart working woman. I know that she handles her business well. Why would she punish herself for what her body obviously needed, which was rest? not even on a work day for her, on a Sunday after she had come back from church. So then I started realizing that it's because as women, we've been socialized over the years that we are supposed to be like workhorses. If we are not working at work, at home, we are supposed to be doing everything. And growing up as little girls, we are judged a lot. How many of you heard the word lazy woman, lazy girl when you were growing up? If you heard the word lazy girl, just say yes in the comments. Lazy girl. If you don't do what you're supposed to do, you won't get married. And even when you get married, they'll bring you back home, you know? And I remember my grandmother telling me, you don't like cooking. All you like doing is cleaning like tidying up the room. Will you tidy up the room and put it on a plate for your husband to eat? You know, so we grow up with that kind of socializing. So it becomes almost scandalous to even think rest as women. And then we also are judgmental of other women who actually prioritize rest. So I would like to talk about how it is important for us to change our mindsets as women when it comes to rest. Rest is actually a strategy for success because it helps you occupy your space better. Because each time you are interacting with somebody, you are interacting from a place of rest, not a place of harassment and stress. So it is very important. And that is, I believe that is at the root of how we relate to each other. That is at the root of how we relate to our family members, our friends. Because if we relate better from a place of rest, relaxation, we'll be more patient with each other. We'll be more willing to listen to each other. I believe sincerely that the break of marriages, stress is at the root of many marriages that are broken. Because when you are having discussions from a place of tiredness, exhaustion, and stress, you don't, and this goes for both parties, you don't actually handle situations well. You don't handle conversations well when you are tired. You are quick-tempered. You are more emotional than trying to bring salient point to bear. So it is in our own interest that we prioritize rest, both at home and with our children, with our friends, with our siblings, and our workplaces. And one of, and I would like to ask another question. How many of us struggle with rest? Some people accept that rest is necessary, but then we struggle with rest. Can you say yes in the comments if you struggle with rest, with prioritizing rest? Okay, so this is what you need to do. You need to plan for rest. How do you plan for rest? You get to know yourself. Who are you? What kind of a personality do I have? What are my activities? You know, when you know who you are, what personality you are, what activities you involved yourself in, then it enables you to plan your rest. Somebody who is a CEO of a multinational organization, the kind of planning they need to put in their rest is different from somebody who is a manager in that same organization. You understand what I'm talking about? And then when you are introvert and you are extrovert or ambivert, it also determines what kind of planning you need to put in. So that's the personality side of it that I'm talking about. Then you need to plan with your finances. Another thing I realize is that many women don't plan when it comes to rest. So when you advertise or there is an event that they don't see it as necessary, maybe it's not educative, they are not going to get anything, it's just rest and relaxation, they are hesitant to invest in it. It is very important that we have that mindset where we plan financially for our rest. So our finances. One of the reasons why we don't even actually have the finances for rest is because when we are even charging for our services, We don't factor it into how we charge. Another thing is when we are negotiating for salaries, we don't factor those things because we've been groomed to think that rest is frivolous. So it's very important to do that. The next thing is to schedule rest daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, biannually, and annually. And there are different degrees to that. A day, how many of us actually pause for just 30 minutes to just breathe? Just breathe. Many of us, especially those of us with young children, we just keep go. Another thing in the planning of the rest is ask for help. Ask for help. You know, some of us, it's so difficult for us to ask for help, but it gets to a point in a person's life that if you don't ask for help, you can't go to the next level of your life, or you can't succeed the way you want to. So pray for help is the next thing. I think one of the speakers mentioned it, I think Frimpoma, you pray for help. For those of us who believe in prayer, it can be very strategic in getting the answers that you need. And also be willing to pay for help. Pay for help. I hear people talk about their helpers and my helper. What kind of a helper do you have? I know people who have helpers who have first degree. They went to the university, they have first degree. It may be child psychology or something. I'm not saying that go for a helper who has a child psychology background only, but this is just an idea. What is the quality? What fiber is your help made of? So if you put a premium on yourself, it will be reflective on the quality of support that you are willing to pay for. So I hope that from now on, we will value ourselves enough to put ourselves on our own schedule and prioritize rest as strategy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Emefa. It's interesting. I was told that I talk, and if I talk too much, my husband will leave me. So there are all kinds of stereotyping. Good men. I'm going to ask you to get up. Just get up from where you are sitting for a moment, just for 1 minute. My topic is stack, think solutions. That's my topic. Stack, think solutions. Now I'd like you to close your eyes for a moment. And just for 1 minute, think about that area or that issue in your life that has kept you stuck. Just think about it for a moment and begin to feel it and ask, close your eyes, think about that issue. Is it relationship? Maybe you are stuck. You don't know whether to leave or to stay. Is it a work that you don't know whether to change careers? Or just think about the situation or the issue that has kept you stuck. And ask yourself how you are feeling. Just think about it. How did it make you feel? Just for a minute. Okay? I'm going to ask you to shift still with your eyes closed, shift a little now, and begin to suddenly think about you have come out of the problem. So suddenly there's an aha moment, you've gotten the solution, and you've come out. How does that feel? Okay, so just post for me how the first experience felt when you were thinking about the problem. Open your eyes and post how it felt for you. And then post for me how it felt when you came out of the problem. Okay, so just post for me quickly. I'll look at 1 or 2 or 3 and open your eyes, sit down, and let's start. I'm going to put this off so that you don't look at my face. Otherwise, you look at my face and not listen to me. So I'm going to tell you, all of us have been in a stuck place before. And that is when you find yourself going through an issue of, should I or should I not? Should I stay in this relationship or should I leave? Should I stay in this job or should I leave? I've been there before. And when you find yourself in that stuck place, sometimes you really do not know what to do. But the secret of a balanced life for every woman is to have tools to come out of your stuck place, is to be able to have the tools to come out of your stuck place. So for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to share with you my own creation. I call it CICES solution process. And the solution is an acronym. I'm going to start by asking us to, let's talk a little bit about the problem talk. Many times when we find ourselves with a problem, what we do is we talk about the problem. So we talk about how I don't like this relationship because it's causing me stress. Then we talk about the effect of that problem on us, how it's making you stressed, and because of that you are not able to do this. And we talk about the talk about the effect of the problem on us. We talk about who to blame. If it hadn't been for him, or if it hadn't been for her, or if it hadn't been my boss, this would not have happened. Then we talk about past regrets. And if I hadn't done this, maybe in my life, at this time in my life, this would not have happened. Then about what to fix. So now what do I fix? Do I fix the way I talk? Do I fix, So look, now, as I'm talking about this, I'm sure there's a lot of weight. Okay, so when you go the problem talk, it's a lot of weight before we start thinking about, okay, so what's the expect or thing to do? Okay, I'm going to do this. It didn't work. Okay, let me try this. It's a lot of work. So today I'm going to teach you a strategy for you to shift from the problem talk to the solution talk. And I'll start by defining the word solution. The word solution is an action or a process of solving a problem. Okay, so solution is an action or a process of solving a problem. It's bringing into a state of discontinuity. Okay, so how you felt at first when I described the first scenario, and when I asked you to shift into the aha moment where problem was solved, something different happened. When you were thinking about the problem and the thing that causes you to be stuck, you felt stressed, it was heavy, it was, for some of you, you were even afraid, you didn't think about it. When I asked you to shift into the solution mode, where the solution had come, there was relief and there was joy and you felt fulfilled and you felt happy. So the experience is different. So now I'm going to take you through my 9 steps that I have tried it. I have tried it when I was thinking about staying in a marriage of 26 years or leaving. I have tried it when I had to move from a place where I was working and I was earning a lot and it was helping the family, and I wanted to start my own company, Self-Search, and I was going through the should I or should I not? What will people say? How would it affect us? Okay, so I went through this process and it has worked for me. So my S stands for state what you want. So the S is state what you want. Many times we don't state what we want, we state the problem. Okay, so we say, I don't want a man who doesn't have time for me. Or I don't want a job that does not give me time to be with my kids. You stated the problem, but you have not stated what you want. Okay, so the S stands for state what you want. I want a job that would give me flexibility. That's you're stating what you want. Your preferred future, I call it, or your preferred state. I want a man who would have time for me. Okay, who would communicate with me, who will go out with me, who will discuss with me. State what you want. So move out of the problem talk, and you know the issue already. So now start with an S for solution. S is state what you want. When you go to a shop and you say, I don't want this dress, I don't want that one, I don't want this bag, the shopkeeper will ask you, what do you want? Okay, so the first step to come out of your stuck place is to state what you want. The second one is observe. Okay, that's O for solution. O, observe. Observe the things around you that could take you to your preferred state. Or observe the knowledge you have, the skills you have, the abilities you have, the network you have. That could take you to the preferred place which you have stated. So I'll give you an example. So you say, for instance, I want a man who will have time for me and who will converse with me. And if you observe, you will find that the one who is with you in the house doesn't even go anywhere. Okay, which is one possibility, which is one thing that could lead you to your preferred state of somebody who could have time for me. Then you observe, for instance, that sometimes when you are watching TV, you end up commenting a little together about what is happening on the screen. That is a possibility. Okay, so basically under the O, you are observing all the things around you, all the things with the person that is positive, okay, not the negatives, because the negatives will take you to the problem talk, okay? So you're observing. You said, I want a job that would allow me to travel, or that would allow me to speak. So the observing is you're observing the current one that I'm in. Do I have the opportunity to speak? If I do, then that is what possibility that I could improve my speaking through that to move to where I want to get to. I'll say, okay, so the O is observing the things happening in your environment, whether knowledge, skills, whether the network you have, maybe you have friends who have in various places, but you have not even established a relationship with them. So if you observe that I do have the network, so maybe what I could do is establish a relationship. So the first is observe the things, all the possibilities around you that could lead you to your preferred state, which you have stated. Then the L is list them. So don't just think about them in your head. Okay, maybe I say I want a job that would give me flexibility. Okay, and I have observed that the current work that I do, I have 2 days leave. That is some flexibility to do something. If I then observe that, now write down all that you have listed, you have thought of, you have observed. Like the Bible says, write it down and make it plain. Okay, so make it plain to yourself. Write that, okay, he's at home, it's a positive thing. I could use that. He goes for a walk, it's a positive thing. I could join him. So observe and write and list them. That's the L in solution. Then the U in solution is unfold the small actions that you can take. And that's what I was saying. I could go for the walk with him. At least when I could also go. It will help me to exercise as in the process. So you are looking at that is the issue you stated, your preferred state. You are looking at what you have observed around you, which could take you to that preferred state. You have listed them all down and scaled them. The scaling, let me talk about the scaling under list. L is list and scale. So I list the fact that, okay, I want a particular job, I don't know who to get to, but I look around me and I realize I have friends. I have people in very high positions. But when I scale my relationship with them, I find that I'll put myself 0 being I don't have a good relationship, 10 being I have a very good relationship. So I scale myself at 4. Okay, 4 meaning I know them, I have their contacts, but I don't have a relationship with them. So under U, where I'm unfolding the small actions, I'm going to say that I'm going to start engaging them, calling them, checking up on them. That's a small action. But under U, you are unfolding all the small actions you could take that will take you to your preferred state. Then T, place a timetable or timeline on it. So you say this action, I'll start it from tomorrow. So from tomorrow, I'm going to register with if it's public speaking that I want to enhance, I'm going to, there's this school I can, apply to, or if it is the walk, tomorrow I'm going to start. When he's going, I'll say, well, I'll come with you. Okay, so unfold the small actions, timetable the small actions, then increase the actions gradually. So increase them. So today it was a walk. We started going together. Tomorrow, when we are sitting and watching TV, I will talk about maybe something that happened at work, and that will also start a conversation. Okay, so begin to increase the actions gradually. Or oppose the problem talk and the thoughts, because the problem talk will come. In the Bible, the Sanballats and the Tobiases would always be there to tell you, hey, you think this will work? Don't think about it, dude. It won't work. Go back for when the thoughts of shifting back into problem talk comes, go back to your S, which is what you stated you wanted, your preferred state, okay? And then begin to ask yourself, what would happen if I entered that preferred state? I will feel fulfilled, I'll be happy, I'll have more time with my children, I'll be more impactful. Look at the benefits of that preferred state when the O oppose problem talk begins to come. I said oppose it. Then N, notice and name the improvements and the changes you are seeing and celebrate yourself. And S, see that your final decision aligns with your values, with your beliefs, with the way you feel. Frimpoma said something about how you feel. Okay, so ask yourself, does it make me feel good? So you are, the S and the solution is you are seeing that your final decision aligns with your values, with your beliefs, with your faith, and with how you feel. Now you feel more restful, you are more at peace with yourself, and you know that you have shifted from stuck to thinking solutions. So I will conclude with a statement by Gregory Bates. He says, change is happening all the time. Our role is to identify useful change and amplify it. So women, identify useful change, amplify it, and equip yourself with the tools to come out of your stuck place. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sika. And you ladies have been amazing. Ladies, in the comments, please let me know, what do you think so far? What have you learned? Have you learned something? Just like a sentence, put a sentence in the comments, what you have picked. What you have picked so far. We've had Abigail, Frimpoma, Francisca, Boateng, Chloe, MFA, and then Sika. What have you learned? Put it in the comments. I want you to write it. I think one of the speakers, was it Sika who mentioned state what you want? So state what you learned so you don't forget it. State it in the comments, and please, when you share, you can just take a picture, share it on social media, state it and tell them where you got these insights. Mention the names of the people who spoke, and then something hits you. You know, sometimes you hear something and it hits you like that. From Abigail, I mean, I learned so much from Abigail. I always learn from her. She talked about spending time on your best speech, and I was thinking, this is my face. If I saw the way you turned your head to look at me. And I'm thinking, what's my best speech? I think for me, it's my bald head. So I've promised myself that in 2021, I'll go shaving my hair more often. I won't wait for it to get bushy. So every 2 weeks. So because this is my best speech, I'm going to take care of it. Frimpoma talked about, I loved it when she talked about chief recruiter. In the beginning, I was like, who is that? Who is that? And then she mentions God. I was like, oh, so that was amazing. Francisca. Listen, ladies, all these ladies and the things that we are saying, I really hope we are taking them seriously because they are powerful. Francisca talked about being mentally sound. This is so important for us. You know, like today, I have this conference, which is big, but it's not even the biggest thing I'm doing today. Later this evening, I'm hosting this training but you know, through it all, I kept saying, just calm down. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. And so far, isn't everything fine? To me, everything is fine. I hope you are seeing everything as fine too. So, I mean, you know, having that mental soundness really helps you do what you have to do. And then Chloe talked about having, I love what she said. She said, I wrote it here. Having goals is not enough. Have accountability. I talk about this all the time. Ladies, I am in 2 mastermind groups. I have an accountability partner and I have a coach. Sika is actually my coach. And then I'm surrounded by all these coaches, Coach MFA, Coach Annette. Like, so if you see me going, it's because the backing vocalists I have, the way they give it to me, the way they challenge me. MFA is always asking me, I'ma go and sleep. She herself, she's up when she will tell me to go and sleep, you know, because I'm supported by people who hold me accountable. So having accountability is so important. You cannot do it all by yourself. You need help. Everybody does. So please make sure you find accountability. If you don't have anyone in forums like these, this is where we find accountability partners. For those of you who work with me as in my group coaching for startups, this is what I do for you, or it's one of the things I do for you. MFA also talked about, MFA says something, you don't handle situations well when you are tired. It's true. I have learned that about myself. So like when the kids go to school, sometimes after everybody, I say bye-bye. I just come and I lie on the couch and I sleep. A lot of times, right before I do my live videos, I sleep. Maybe some of you will see eyebags because I was sleeping. It's just because, look, I can't perform if I'm so knackered, like the UK people will say. And I love what Sika said, state what you want. Ladies, do we know what we want? I work with a lot of women in my group coaching for startups. And sometimes this simple question, what do you want? People need help to clarify what they actually want. And that, look, in this group, we have amazing coaches. I told you Sika is my personal coach. She's an executive, transformational, please, she's an executive coach to me, simple. MFI is there if you're a single parent and you need help. Francisca is there, Annette, Nkechi, all these women are coaches and they can help you. So please reach out to someone, invest in the help, Sika is on the screen. Do you know how much it cost me to work with her? But after the third session, I was like, oh my God, you are worth the investment, aren't you? Aren't you? You work so hard for your money. So why won't you invest your own money in helping yourself? And it's so important. So this is just by the way, reach out for help when you need it, okay? Right, we are going to go on now. So I just want to say thank you. So far, the speakers have been amazing. I just had a comment here that, oh, I wanted to read. Where is it? Oh, somewhere. Okay, so one of the speakers just wrote to me, I enjoyed your audience, Amma. On Zoom, it's usually tricky, but your audience were amazing. You ladies are amazing. I hope wherever you are, you're clapping for yourself. Clap for yourself, clap for yourself. Okay, so we have 2 more speakers coming, then afterwards we will do Q&A. So if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. I see your claps, I'm happy about that. Let me just share with you, I think Abigail mentioned that we have a women leaders workshop happening in Kumasi on the 26th and 27th of March. It's for a small number of 12 or only because of social distancing and all that. So let me just tell you briefly about it. This year's theme is on women in leadership, achieving an equal future in a COVID-19 world. And so we are targeting women, corporate women leaders in religious institutions, women leaders in business and not-for-profit organizations, professional women in mid-level and executive management positions, aspiring women leaders. And these are the things we are going to walk away with after the training. Francisca, who is actually going to speak next, and this particular topic she's doing, she'll dive deeper into it, the 8 dimensions of wellness and how it affects your output as a leader. And then we'll have conversations around uniqueness and being confident in your own leadership style. Listen, we are all leaders and we all have our unique styles. Everybody is okay and fabulous just the way God created you to be. So how are you going to walk in that unique style? We'll talk about it, how to gain and maintain relevance in the workplace. Dr. Nkechi is going to take us through that. And then how to effectively lead others to achieve your desired result, how to leverage your personal brand to attain success. And then finally, we will do some vision casting and then goal setting. So there are 2 packages. There's the platinum package and then there is the diamond package for those who are looking to attend. Obviously, I've posted the link into the group already. I'm going to post it and I'll share it with you again. So these are our facilitators. Do you see the bald-headed girl called Amma Duncan with her beautiful smile? That's her. And then Francisca is speaking. Annette, so Annette is actually in the US now, but by next week, God willing, she's coming to Ghana. And then Nkechi, and then Abigail. So ladies, I'm going to share more details about this with you via email as well. Okay, so now let me see if I have a few comments I'm doing well on time, so I'm quite excited. Okay, Eunice says, change is happening all the time. Identify useful change. Super quote. It's a super quote indeed. So ladies, we have 2 more ladies speaking. The first person to speak is Francisca Taylor. Francisca is on a mission to help Ghanaians prevent chronic non-communicable diseases using nutrition and lifestyle modification. She's trained as a pharmacist. She has a unique 14-year background in entrepreneurship, pioneering new ideas, lifestyle medicine, and business development. With lifestyle modification as a core skill, she has built a full-service health and wellness promotion company focused on using nutrition and lifestyle medicine to serve clients via her business subsidiaries, namely Perfect Health Coaching, Perfect Health Foods, and the Perfect Health Shop. And then our final speaker for today is Irene Asari. Irene is an international human capital expert with 25 years experience across multi-geographies across Africa and Europe. Irene is the founder and CEO of Carbon Clay People Development, a leading edge human resource and people practice consultancy in Ghana, offering unique HR advisory, HR transformation, executive recruitment, training, and HR business support. As a change agent, her focus on transformation is evident as she has led significant organizational change and effective programs in the oil and gas, banking and telecommunications industry. So Francisca is going to speak first. She has this to tell us.
Well, hello, ladies, and welcome to this year's International Women's Day celebration. I am so excited to be part of this year's event with the Fabulous Women Network. My name, of course, is Francisca Taylor, founder of Perfect Health Ghana, pharmacist, and healthy lifestyle coach. And this morning, I'm going to be sharing a few thoughts with you on the 8 dimensions of wellness. It's something I've been exploring a lot, especially this year. And it's been prompted by the work I've been doing, coaching, especially women one-on-one, and helping them to achieve their health and, of course, their lifestyle goals. So we're going to be sharing a lot. Feel free to leave your questions in the comment section. Feel free to add your voice to the conversation, and let's keep it going. I have been so inspired and encouraged by all that the other ladies have shared. And I'm so grateful to be part of such an amazing community of women leaders. This morning, the topic I will be sharing on is the 8 dimensions of wellness and how to maximize your overall wellness through your daily habits. Well, someone is going to say, what at all is wellness? Because these days you hear wellness, self-care, self-love. Well, for me, wellness is you as a woman leader. You know, incompetent, you feel inadequate, and you keep wondering, it's just my little tool. How come I'm feeling so helpless without it? You know, that is how our lives work. And so if every aspect of your life is not in balance, you find that you are not able to achieve your goals the way you should. The other parts to make it work. So it's just like your body. You realize that there are certain parts of your body that you don't really respect. And yet when those parts are not functioning well, you actually feel, you know, incompetent, you feel inadequate, and you keep wondering, it's just my little tool. How come I'm feeling so helpless without it? You know, that is how our lives work. And so if every aspect of your life is not in balance, you find that you are not able to achieve your goals the way you should. You are not able to produce results the way you should, okay? So when we talk about wellness, there are at least 8 dimensions of wellness, 8. And if all these aspects of wellness are very balanced in your life, you will realize that you will be the ultimate woman leader that you and I both know you can be. But if one aspect or more are not working, you will find yourself struggling to achieve results, struggling to be your authentic self. Now, by these 8 dimensions of wellness, I'm talking about, of course, spiritual wellness, which is your relationship with God or with the higher power. I'm talking about social wellness, which is your relationship with other people in your life. It could be anyone. But you know, human beings are social beings. And so social wellness is a huge part of our overall wellness. I am talking about emotional wellness, which is huge. People like to say women are emotional beings. I don't believe that. I think human beings in general are emotional. But if you are not emotionally healthy and well, it's going to affect every aspect of your life. I am talking about environmental wellness, what you allow into your space, what your space is like, what your internal environment is like, and what your external environment is like. I am talking about financial wellness. You know, if the pocket is not working, you know, it easily affects every other aspect. You get upset easily, you know, and all that if financially you are not stable. I'm talking, of course, about occupational wellness. If you're not happy at work and you go to work every day, it's just saying that you are not happy every day because you go to work almost every day. You know, I'm talking about physical wellness. How do you feel in your body? Are you happy with how your body feels? Are you happy with what you're eating? Are you eating junk? You know, I am talking about intellectual wellness. How well are you up there? Are you continually personally developing? Or are you, you know, have you stopped learning because you are done with school and you think that's all you need to know and all that? And finally, I'm talking about physical wellness, of course, right? Now, to help us understand these aspects of wellness, I will be likening us as fabulous women leaders to the queen bee. In every bee colony, the queen bee is the single most important member of that colony. So what I'm saying is that if there is no queen bee, there is no colony. If for any reason something happens to the queen bee and the queen bee dies, that colony is on its way to extinction. Except, of course, something happens and they find another queen bee to take up from the previous one, which happens. Now, you and I both know that without the work that bees do, there will be no pollination, there will be no cross-pollination, there will be no germination, and the whole ecosystem will not function. So bees are very important. And I'm likening us as fabulous women leaders to bees because, you know, things revolve around us, ladies. Things revolve around us, either at home or at work or in relationships. Everywhere we find ourselves, things revolve around us. Now, here are a few things I learned from studying the queen bee that we can all glean from. We can all pick a thing or two from to improve on our lives and to focus on us as the queen bee being the most important part of the equation. Now, the first thing I want to share with you, you know, the queen bees, they don't just eat anything. Their food is actually pre-digested for them and is fed to them. And when I saw that, when I was preparing for this event, I found it so telling, because if the queen bee, just a bee, doesn't just eat anything because of their role, then how can we as fabulous women just eat anything because I'm hungry or because I don't want to waste my kids' food? So instead of throwing it away, I'll throw it here. Ladies, it is high time we become intentional about what we put into our bodies. Many of us are beginning to accept things, you know, that run in our families. And I'm here to let you know, there's nothing that runs in families. There's something I always say, your lifestyle pulls the trigger. Your genes may load the gun, but it's your lifestyle that pulls the trigger. And so ladies, what are we allowing to get into our bodies? What are we allowing to get into our minds? Are we intentional about what we do on a daily basis? Because you see, it's the daily things that make a difference. It's not what you do once a while. It's what you do every day that is going to determine who you are going to be in the long run. Second thing I found out when I was studying the queen bee, this is another interesting one, is that to develop a new colony, right? Sometimes the queen bee has to go fly so many thousands of miles, and because of their unique role, they are not equipped to fly for long hours. So what they do is that they reduce the amount of food they are eating so they can reduce their weight to at least a third, and then they can be light enough to fly. So Fabulous Woman, I want to ask you this morning, what baggage are you carrying with you that is making you difficult to fly? That is making it difficult for you to get to the next level? Is it an offense? Has someone offended you years ago and it's something that you keep referring to? You know, I was going to do this, and because this other person did that, I wasn't able to travel, and because I wasn't able to travel, this didn't work. Are you still living based on past regrets? Are you still living based on other people's offenses? Are you still living in unforgiveness? It is high time that we let some things go so that we can be light enough to fly. Let them go. And to let them go does not mean that the person was right. But to let them go means that you are willing to get to the next level. All right? Now, the queen bee is also the only female member of the colony that can reproduce. So it's not that there are no other members of female members of the colony. It's just that it's only the queen bee that can reproduce. So ladies, if you are the only member in your team, in your family that can reproduce, and by reproduce, I'm not talking about having children, I'm talking about being productive, then it means that your role is so unique that you should guard yourself jealously. Final thing I want to share about the queen bee, there are so many things I want to share, and really I will be going more in-depth into this topic when we have the Women's Leaders Retreat, which is coming at the end of this month. I believe Amma would tell us about it at the end of this event. The final thing I found out about the queen bee is that when there happen to be two queen bees in a colony, what they do is that they fight to the death of one. So whoever dies, you lose, and then the winner becomes the queen of the colony. What does that tell you? It tells you that the queen bee is fierce. It tells you that the fabulous woman leader is fierce. Fierce about what? Fierce about protecting yourself, protecting your space, protecting your mental health, protecting your total and overall wellness, protecting what gets into your mind, protecting what gets into your heart, protecting what gets into your body. Ladies, we need to be fierce and we need to be intentional. Now, there are daily things that we need to do to be able to achieve this, because truly balancing 8 dimensions of wellness cannot come easily. It has to be intentional. And I'm just going to share a few of those with us this morning. Ladies, you want to be sure that you daily take an assessment of your life. Question yourself. You know, sometimes you meet a friend and you're all sharing, this is what I've been up to, this is what I've been up to. And sometimes when your friends are sharing their wins, you feel like you're not really excited for them. Ladies, I want you to question that feeling. After the interaction, ask yourself, why wasn't I happy for the person? What is that doing in me or to me? Don't just brush it off and say, yeah, life goes on. Question yourself, analyze yourself, journal, ask yourself questions. Because you see, the quality of your life depends on the quality of your questions. Ladies, take time to exercise. And it doesn't have to be anything over the top. Ladies, if we don't have 5 minutes to get active in a day, we are way too busy. I want you to make it a point to work out beginning today, not tomorrow. Because when you say you do it tomorrow, you're not going to do it. You'll do it never, really. So beginning today, after this event, take 5 minutes and get active, doing just anything. You could dance, you could do squats, you could do anything, but just do it for 5 minutes for me. And finally, ladies, I want you to keep a journal of what you eat. Because when I'm coaching my clients, they all come to me saying, oh, I eat very healthy. And it's only when we start writing down what they are eating that we find out that healthy is very relative. And so ladies, gift yourself a journal this today. Gift yourself a journal, buy yourself a journal, tell yourself I'm going to use it to document what I eat. If you want to contact me later, show me your food journal and let us talk. I am always available. But whatever we do, let's remember to be fierce and let's remember to be intentional. My name is Francisca Taylor. I've enjoyed sharing these thoughts with you, and I will be available to answer any questions you may have so that we can carry this conversation further. Thank you.
We have our final speaker.
Hi, Emma. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Fantastic. So first of all, I want to say fabulous, fabulous. And of course, it has to be fabulous women, right? It has to be the name. I'm excited to see you all. And I'm extremely humbled that I am your last speaker. So please don't run out on me now. I'm going to give you a bit of a hi. I'm going to give you a personal story. And I think the topic that we're talking, actually, this is a little bit difficult. When you sit back as a woman and you think about this. So I'm going to share with you a little bit of a kind of story. But before we start, I see smiley faces. I know we love as women to hide behind our camera. So I just want that I have your attention, at least for a little while. I see that you're still with us. Great, I see you're still engaged. You're still loving the topics that we're talking about. And I'm sure I'm going to do a Q&A with you later. And I'm hoping that I can bring the energy up, because I know what it's like when you're the last person, you might nod off. So I'm going to hope that you're not going to do that to me and you're going to listen. So I see fantastic. I'm getting all these comments. And the other thing that I also ask is, as I talk to you, because I'm just going to have a conversation, right? We're all women here and we're going to have an amazing conversation. And I just want you to kind of put in your questions in the chat box. If there's anything that I can address for you while I'm chatting, please do that. I've had a fantastic career opportunity. I've been able to work in different geographies, different countries, work for many different companies. I've had my highs and I've had my lows. And believe me, I'm a real person, a real woman, just like you all are today. And I know a lot of people in my time have often asked me, Irene, how do you do it all? How do you have a family? How are you married this? What is the secret? Now, I hope you're listening carefully, but there really, in my opinion, isn't really a secret. So I'm sorry if I'm going to completely dash your dreams here, but I'm sure a lot of my colleagues, speakers have given you snippets. But honestly, if we had a book that we could put formula, I'm sure by now you all would have taken that formula, right? And you have, and really, I didn't believe that I had, there was no problem, right? Because I was there, I was available, I could work all the time. And then I was very ambitious, so I was sort of driving my career. Any projects, I'd put my hand up, any opportunities, I'd go out there and I'd try to make the most of it. And I remember a particular point in my career when I moved to Ghana. So I was in the UK, I moved to Ghana, and then I moved to South Africa. This amazing opportunity came up. and I moved and I was trying to balance it all. By then I had 3 children, I was still married, me and my husband and my family, we all went over. And I remember I started, one day I got this huge headache. I got this horrific headache. I was like, okay, this is really interesting. So I'll take some tablets. I took some tablets. I still had this horrendous headache. I actually had this headache for 2 straight days in a row. I started throwing up. I was actually really scared. For the first time in my career, I was actually really scared. I got myself over to the doctor, and guess what the doctor said? We need to give you hypertension tablets immediately before you even leave my office. I was absolutely shocked. This is me who is doing everything, who is trying to manage everything. I stopped in my tracks completely. My blood pressure, I was told, was something, I mean, got some doctors here, was incredibly overboard. And I had to take the medication there and then. And then I think at that point, I was, for a lot of people, you would have said, oh, I was at the top. You don't answer the phone because you are the only one in this world who is busy. Believe me, I've had it all. I used to do a particular job and I honestly had to schedule in 2 weeks before I could talk to my friends. 2 weeks. Do you think they continue to call me? If for many women, I've been fortunate because I have a very supportive husband, but there have been times, I hope I'm allowed to be vulnerable with you. There have been times when my husband said, hey, madam, this job that you're doing, we haven't spoken. I didn't own the company. Remember, I was given a flash when I had serious blood pressure. I'm still taking medication now. What's my story? I think that I've always wanted to be hugely ambitious, and I think that's something that is within me. But what I have learned along the way, and I've been in corporate, and for those of you who work in these corporate organizations, and I was one of the directors, we want everything from you. If you give us, we'll take it. If you want to be in the workplace 24/7, we'll take it from you. We will not tell you, we may say every now and again, oh, please go and spend time with your family. How many of you have been on this call? You're even on holiday, you get a call from work. And guess what? When we leave those organizations, shock horror, the organization still continues. I have left my organization that I worked for many years. As far as I'm aware, Vodafone, Tullow, Standard Bank, they're still working, I believe, and they're still making money. And I'm not there anymore. They liked it when I was there. We had a great relationship. But guess what? When you turn around, your son, who was 5, is now 10. If nothing else, this pandemic taught us is how we reconnect with our children. If you have children, if you have friends, all of a sudden I got to see a side of my children I'd never seen before. I could describe their personality that I thought I knew. As I was researching today, I was looking at a couple of quotes, and I want to take time to read those quotes to you because it just touched me. I think there are moments as women, we can talk about having balance, and I've had a brilliant career and I'm still having a brilliant career, but I've had to learn some deep lessons along the way. And sometimes they were very, very painful that we often don't want to tell other people about because we want to put on our faces that we can do it all. Well, if you can do it all, you're going to end up in a place, I don't know where. So it says here, one quote I thought was really good. Don't confuse having a career with having a life. Another one, and I want you to take time just to think about what I've said. I've learned that you can't have everything and do everything at the same time. I've just quoted Hillary Clinton, I've just quoted Oprah Winfrey, right? They are the highest of their levels. Happiness comes from living as you need to, as you want to, as your inner voice tells you to. Happiness comes from being who you actually are instead of who you think you are supposed to be. We are all different. We all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. Please do not compare yourself to Irene, because Irene was my classmate and Irene has gone to the highest level. And as for me, dear, I am not getting there. Do you know what Irene has gone through to get to where she is? And if she could, she might swap places with you. Never get so busy making, like I said, we want to have it all. And I'm not saying we're not intelligent. I'm not saying we're not smart. What I am saying is, when I've looked at my career, I've worked extremely hard at a sacrifice. There have been points in my career I haven't known my kids as well as I would like to. I am lucky today I'm here to see them grow, to see them develop, to see that we have an impact on their life. How many of you women who have children have gone, for example, and your children have come back, and this is something I'm going to be very vulnerable about. My sons, one day they came back and said to me, oh, they didn't do well on their exam. I was in the office. Did I check their homework? Sadly to say. But I am working, going up the ladder, and my children behind me. Wow. We also spend time as women listening to each other, right? Comparing ourselves to each other. To me, this is all about, we're talking about balance. You are good at your thing, I am good at mine. What I would like us to see is that we balance each other out. We support each other. We as women, we talk a lot about supporting each other. If I was to pick up the phone and speak to anyone, unfortunately, my business will probably be out on the street. You know, we need to be able to be balanced with each other. That's what keeps us going. It's okay also if you decide that you don't want to go to the highest level because you love your job. You want to create impact, and you don't have to be the boss to be successful. You could have impact in a completely different way. That is, to me, what balance is. We are still battling with our minds around we're African, most of our women here are African women, and we are battling with the traditional mindset of, I need to be there for the children, I need to cook, right? I need to make sure the kids are well looked after, I need to go to the office, and when I get to the office, I need to do double, triple, quadruple what my male counterparts does. We're stretching ourselves all over the place. My thing here is, let us think about what our lives mean. There are times in our career when we're younger, when maybe we have more energy, we can use more commitment, we could probably stay in the office longer. There's no problem with that. When we get to middle of our careers and we have family, we have young children, maybe the reality is we need to spend more time at home with our family, trying to balance that. And I really am talking to you about hoping that you really do have a supportive partner. Now, let me take a moment to just talk about that to you. The reality is this: we don't like to admit it. We all, I'm sure, want to be in a relationship, right? And we all want to give from the outside, we have a perfect relationship. You need to make sure, you need to understand your partner and your partner understands you. And I think as times as women, we have to make some tough decisions. And that is about when you first enter into a relationship, if you know that you're first entering into a relationship and your husband is not going to be as supportive, think about it. Think about it well. Because you as a woman cannot turn around and change him. And that can affect your entire life. I, as an HR practitioner, have had many women crying on my shoulder because of the decisions that we make, because we're so desperate to be married, that now you want a career and your partner is not supportive. I was lucky, I was able to go to South Africa. My husband came with me. Equally, when he wanted to come back to Ghana, I picked up my bag, I left that job, and I came back to Ghana. I remain married. I remain committed to my relationship. I can't say that for you, everybody will have to make that decision, but know what you're getting yourself into, right? Because as women, we often like to pretend a little bit and he will change a little bit. That's all I can say to you. So I think what is really important for me is I have been fortunate. I've been an ambitious individual. I chose a partner and I have family that, you know, also were very supportive of what I'm doing. And I say, I've seen some comments here around when I talk about marriage, you know, there is still commitments for a single individual, right? There's still commitments for single people. You still have commitments, you still have responsibilities, right? It's also, just because you have a partner, you still have responsibilities. You've also got to be careful as a single person that you don't completely burn yourself out, because the reality is that, you know, because you're single, people think you can volunteer for every church program that is going on. You can help your friend do this. You can be the one that's helping your family do that. You've also got to find time and you've got to push back. I think there was a mindset coach in our session. I am so into mindset, right? As women, our positive thinking and our mindset, to me, it equals balance. I think I wrote something here where I said where I was going to mention our intellectual self, our spiritual self, and our emotional self is what we have to focus on as women. Intellectually, we have to think hard about what stimulates us. Our emotional self, maybe our family, for example, and how, you know, what does that mean for you? And your spiritual self, if you are a believer or if you're religious, you know, what's your faith and how does that keep you going? I think these are the important things that every now and again in our relationship, in our moment in time, we need to stop and think about that. You need to, my advice to you is think about a real mentor. Think about someone you can really talk to. You can really pour your heart out, because you will find that many women are challenging the same thing as what you're challenging or faced with, right? So how I would end is, I have been fortunate. I've had an amazing career. I've come up and now set up my own business, which is an HR consultancy, and I am also a coach as well. And I've learned along the way the highs and the lows. And I would leave you with, take all of those experiences, positive and negative. They make a huge, huge difference in your life. And your life is in your hands, in your career. We manage it, we control it. Use the opportunity at the end of these sessions to go away and reflect, be honest with yourself about what you're doing and what you're not doing and how you can make a change in your life, right? I'm told that I have to now stop, so I'm sure there'll be time for Q&A, Amma. I'm sure there'll be time for that, and I'm more than happy to talk to you more about it. So I really hope that this has been a really beneficial session for you. Amma, you're on mute.
Sorry. It's been so amazing. Gosh, I am, I'm just blown away. I'm blown away. You ladies are amazing. Let me see that. So somebody sent a comment that I want to just read that to sum it up. Somebody sends this, she said, "Shalom and thank you, Amma, for this very insightful seminar. It's not done, but I wanted to say thank you before I forget to send this message. It has really exceeded my expectations. The speakers have been phenomenal and all their topics were beautifully connected to each other." It has to be God, ladies. There is no way I or Irene or would have known what you ladies needed to hear. There is no way. I'm getting goosebumps. It has to be God. So all glory and honor go to him. Okay, we have 40 minutes and we want to use 15 minutes of that to take questions. So please put your questions in the comments. I'll read them. I have many of the speakers still here. Irene is here. I see Nkechi, Sika. And ladies, these are the toppest of the toppest coaches we have in the world, not in Ghana. Not in Ghana, the world. You want to follow these women on social media. Follow Irene, wherever she's going, follow her. You see she's speaking here, you are there. You see Sika there, you are there. You see Nkechi, follow them. This is literally what I do. Oh. I tell people when I came to Kumasi, the only people I knew were my husband and his friends. Today, he says what? People now call him Amma Duncan's husband. Before I was Samuel Duncan's wife. Now he's Amma Duncan's husband. You get what I mean? It's because I'm always following these women. I'll follow Francisca, I'll follow Annette. I'm stalking because I know that these women have value and I want to tap into it. I'm not saying they are perfect, but there's something good in them and we copy that and then we build on that and then we get better. So I really, really hope that all of you are getting, oh God, I mean, the Holy Spirit, I feel his presence here. So from Fanka, what I got, fiercely protect what you value. I love that. Fiercely protect it with all your might and, and then Irene says something. You don't have to be the boss to make the impact. There's this whole craze about quitting my job. Like I quit my job to focus on my business. And for me, it was my path. That was God wanted me to do. But it doesn't have to be the same for you too. You can actually stay right where you are and make that difference that you need to make. So please, we don't all have to quit. Dr. Nkechi has a full-time job. She heads a department at University of Cape Coast. She's a doctor and then she's running all. So please, it's okay. Accept what God has for you and do it. You can make impact in a different way. I love that, Irene. So ladies, do I see your comment? Ooh, 40. Okay, so I have all the speakers, or as many of them as possible. Let's see if I will see any comments to read. I'm not seeing, sorry, questions. Okay, someone is asking, can you share your social media handles? Yes. Our speakers should please share them because people really want to stalk you. Like I do, I am always stalking you. Okay, I'm trying to see if there's a question. Okay, Nana Beecham says, thanks a lot. This has been exceptional. Amazing women, each one of them. Yes, each and every one of them. To God be the glory. Annette says, thank you to all the amazing. Okay, Annette is also thanking. Is there any question? We have a few minutes before we go. Is there any question? Or if you've asked something and I have missed it, you can unmute yourself and ask, okay? Because I feel like the comments are so many, I may have missed something. So if you have a question, you can unmute yourself. No question.
Hi, ladies.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My name is Grace Ann, and I want to thank Lady Amma so much for this conference. I have a question to ask. I don't know. I think that all the ladies who spoke can contribute to the answer. Recently, I feel very led to pursue a career in education because I'm an educator, but I also feel strongly that I have to start my business. So I'm kind of confused. Can I pursue both interests at the same time, or I would have to sacrifice one to concentrate on the other? Thank you.
Okay, so thank you. Any of the speakers who feels led can just answer this. And let's see if there's another question coming.
Are you stuck? Hello?
Yes, Sika, we can hear you.
Yes, so you think solution. So you're going to ask yourself, you want to do education, you want to ask yourself, sorry, what exactly you want? Okay, so you state that. You're going to ask yourself, if I went into that, what will be the gain and what will be the losses now? Okay, so how am I going to benefit if I go? How is it going to help me in the long term? What are you're going to at it from all angles? I'm interested in and I want to. What does it involve? What does it involve? And do I have what it takes to go into it now? So I'm just giving a few questions you could ask you. What you see at the end, the bottom line is to impact, okay, to give back. So you want to ask yourself, what do I want to give and what do I want to receive in the end as a result of this area I want to go into? So it's a few, you have to do some self-search, okay? And in the process, you would be able to know that when I look at the pros and the cons of both areas I want to go into, this is what I prefer. But one thing I want to say though, is that we are not wired to go into only one area, okay? You can do a combination of things. You can do a combination, you can do 2 or 3 things. If you have the time and you have the strength and you have the passion, you can. It's how you're going to schedule them that will make the difference. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Sika. I'm going through, okay, so some of you are asking, Amma, is there going to be a part 2 and all? Yes, so the part 2 is the Women Leaders Conference. I have shared the link. I will share it again. So please reach out and then let's connect. Beryl, you have a question. I see your hand up, please. You can ask.
Hello, good afternoon. I have really enjoyed this, even though I missed a few because I was feeding. I'm into hospitality, and the COVID, we all know what has happened so far. My main interest has been into international relations, and I have been working in hospitality, especially with kids. I have a playground which I run, but then I haven't worked because of COVID, and then because I just had a baby. But being at home has really brought a lot into I guess been focusing a lot of what I've done in the past, and I want to venture to international relations now. And I'm just kind of going back and forth whether it is, should I or shouldn't I? But I just heard the last speaker that you can do both. But looking at how my life has been for the past 10 years into hospitality and then having this playground and to doing to events and all these things, I'm thinking, and I'm a new mother, I just had a baby like 12 weeks ago. So I'm thinking, is it advisable to change in my mid-40s to get into a new career into as international relations? And any advice from any of the speakers, I would appreciate.
Thank you.
I'm happy to respond.
Sure.
So it's Irene here. So congratulations, and congratulations to you. And I think it's great that you have had time to really stop and think, particularly in this COVID period. What I would say to you is this: I think that a lot of people in hospitality will absolutely be revisiting their career path, and we can all understand why, because I think you guys have been hit the most. I think the question that you need to ask yourself is, hospitality and international relations are quite different career paths, right? Hospitality is a lot around your creativity, and I guess because you're in your mid-40s, you've been doing it for a while. So the first question I think you need to ask yourself is, what are you absolutely passionate about? You know, moving your career at this time in your mid-40s, you've got to think about it. Is international relations an extension to what you're doing? Or was it the fact that hospitality is something that you didn't like doing in the first place? Or are you reacting to COVID and what it will bring you? So I think you need to kind of ask yourself some of these questions. When you say international relations, I think we would need some more detail around what exactly do you mean? And does it require you to retrain, reskill? Will you get the opportunity, therefore, to go into that career and actually practice it? When you start to look at it in that way, in those steps, you might realize it's not as easy to transition, because one, people will probably think, do you have some experience? Do you have some exposure? Can you use your transferable skills to move over? So my advice to you is really go away and think about it. Are you reacting because of COVID and what that has done to hospitality? Do you therefore need to maybe hang on and just assess your situation? Or actually, I really do want to change my career, and then think about the steps that you need to take.
Thank you so much, Irene. I have time for one more question. I see Joy's hand up. So Joyce, Joy, you ask your question briefly, and then we'll have someone answer.
Okay. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for this fabulous conference. My question goes to Irene. You've seen it all. You've been through the heights and lows. You've changed careers and everything. But at the end of the day, do you regret your action of taking some of the opportunities that came your way? And two, what were the reasons of taking these opportunities if you're looking to your life, balancing work with your family? What made you take those decisions to go for your career? I hope my question is a bit clear.
Yes, it is. It is very clear. Thank you very much, Joy. Fantastic questions, I have to say. What I would say is, what's my regret? There has never been a regret. I think that for me, all of these experiences that I've gone through has made me who I am. And I think that in life, we can never say that we haven't done something that, oh, we wish that we could have done it differently, because we wouldn't learn from it, right? So for me, the circumstances as to what I did and the decisions that I made at the time, I don't regret it. I don't regret coming to Ghana. I don't regret going to South Africa, being in the UK. I just think it's made me appreciate life even more, actually. And I think that, you asked me about why did I make these decisions? I think I'm just one of those ambitious, driven women who just think that we can try and do it all and balance it all. And I think that I'm one of these that, you kind of say, I can't do this, and I will push and do it. So I just feel like, inherently within me, I want to at least give it a try. Right? I want to at least say, okay, can I do this? I can do this, and I will do this. So I think I've just been sort of driven from the very beginning. But every experience, even when it was very difficult, I've appreciated it. And I think that if you think about that as a life, you're back to your positive mindset, I think you'll just take every opportunity as a learning opportunity. Thank you very much, Joy.
Right. Yeah. Thank you very much, Irene.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, there are so many questions. I still see a few more questions. So sorry, ladies, we can't take more questions. Remember, there's a part 2, the Women Leaders Workshop, ladies. Take this investment. Join us in Kumasi if you can, God willing, on the 26th and 27th of this month, where we'll have more of such conversations and dig deeper. The women have been amazing. Let me know in the comments, what blessings do you have to shower onto these women who have spoken to us? Anika, Shobita, Nkechi, Blanca, Annette, Abigail, Frimpoma, Francisca, that's Francisca Boateng, Cloyd, MFA, Sika, Francisca Taylor, and then Irene. Like, it's been amazing. I see comments, on private chats, and I'm just saying, ladies, it has got to be God. Don't go and stand anywhere and say, I'm Madam Khan or Irene or Francisca. Just say, I serve a living God. Today, I went to this conference and God gave me the exact message I needed to hear to move to the next level. Now, please, ladies, do something with this information. Don't get charged and then you step out and life starts happening and then you forget. Do something. Take a tiny step towards whatever inspiration or motivation or whatever it is you call it that you've had today. Don't waste it, ladies. Do something. All these ladies we are admiring, they've been taking steps. And even with the mistakes and all, they still keep going. That's what makes them fabulous. You know, can you imagine working at Halo or Stanbic and saying, you know what, I'm stepping out. Imagine the experience that it was for her. She took a step, and by God's grace, she's where she is today. And we are celebrating Irene, we are celebrating Sika, MFA, and all these wonderful ladies as well. Same way we should celebrate all of you because you're all amazing ladies. And so we want to wrap up. We're going to have a brief prayer by Pastor Annette, who is also a coach, and she's joining us in Kumasi, God willing, at the end of the month for the leaders, women leaders workshop. For those of you who have paid for your certificate, you're going to get them via email by the end of this week, as in by Friday. Please, wait. We need to take pictures. Pictures. How could I forget? So please show your face onto the screen. Let me clean my oil. Can you believe in this hot weather, I was drinking hot coffee? I know I'm weird like that. Okay, so everyone come onto the screen because I'm going to take the pictures in batches. Okay, so batch 1, I won't mention all of your names, but just smile ready. Batch 1. And then 2, I have 5 batches. 2, Shobita is playing it safe. She's using her profile picture. Ladies, I'm just taking pictures. For some of you, it's just your face, your name showing. Do you really want just your name and not your fabulous face? Peace, Joy, I saw the face you made. Hey, Gloria, I see you, Gloria Koa. Wow. Hi, ladies.
Do you see me?
Yes, I just
you see me.
I took a picture of you, so I'm on the 3rd one now. Laureen Gavu, I see you. Okay. Hello, Mabel Amu Jones. How is Takrade? Celestina.
Am I on?
I finished, crap.
Takrade is very good.
Good. Okay, so the last screen. Hey, I see Kwame. Whoever Bra Kwame is, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, so I've taken all the pictures. Thank you so much, ladies. We are going to have, so please look out for emails with, I'm going to send the link to this. Many of you are asking, are we going to share? Yes, we'll share it by email to you. And I feel led to also post it to YouTube because I feel like it's not only those who registered for this conference that should benefit. Don't you agree? I feel like the message is so powerful. Somebody sitting somewhere who probably didn't hear of this conference needs to have it. So we'll have them, we'll share it on YouTube as well. I see your comments. Thank you, everyone. I mean, to God be the glory. So Pastor Annette, please let's end this with a powerful prayer from Pastor Annette. As we like to do, we start and end everything with God.
All right, let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for even setting aside this day to celebrate women, International Women's Day. I thank you, Father, for giving us a word through every speaker. I commit everyone into your hands that we will allow these words to just speak to our hearts. It will direct our steps. It will order our steps. Father, I commit everyone that had a question but was not able to get an answer, that through the divine inspiration of the Holy Spirit, you will give them the answer that they need to fulfill the assignment and the plan and the purpose that you have for our lives. I thank you for even this networking and for this divine connection. I pray that through this network and through these conversations, none will feel alone, but there will be partnerships, there will be holding of hands, there will be encouraging, and there will be pushing up and not pulling down. I thank you in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. That was powerful. Ladies, if you have your details and stuff, I hope you do that. Thank you so much. Can you believe? Okay, so ladies, this is the first time that we started the event 30 minutes ahead of time and closed 3 minutes ahead of time. Let's figure it out for ourselves. We've done so well on time. We've done so well. Speakers, God bless you all. Ladies, God bless you. We are going to sign off here. Sorry. We are going to sign here. Oh, please, if you have any message for me, just send it. Most of you have my WhatsApp message. Or
we need music. We need music.
And
You didn't put the music today.
yeah, because we have 2 minutes left, right? Wait. I need music. Wait, ladies, don't go. Let me give you music. I have something in mind. If only I can find it. Just give me a minute. Meanwhile, please be posting your social media handle. Come on, music is coming. Okay.
Hey, Amma, this is Doris.
Wait.
Creator of the universe, what can't you do? What can't you do? Jesus. Name above every other name. What can't you change? What can't you change? What can't you change? Jesus. Are you ready to play? 1, 2, 3.
What can you do? What can you change? What can you change? Jesus. Mighty God. There's nothing, Lord. You will do. Nothing.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you, Amma. Thank you. Bye. Bye bye.
Thank you so much, Amma.
Thank you. Very interesting.
We love you.
Ladies, I have to pause to give a shout out to ECG. The light did not go off.
We pray.
Go on record. Thank you so much, ladies. I have to sign up now. So sign off. So
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bless you.